Dappa-doo, two white guys in a wheelchair.
Boom. All right.
Showtime.
Showtime. All right. Okay. From the top. Okay, we're going to go jump right into tell us a bit about yourself and why you want to be on our podcast today.
Sure. I'll start, I guess. Okay. My name is Mason. I know you guys from high school, elementary school even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, we started a business where we kind of flip and move pool tables, and obviously we're also just buddies. So happy to just hang out and you know, shoot the shit. But yeah, just want to be here, talk a bit about business, talk a bit about life, see what's going on.
Fuck yeah. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, well, we met in what was it? We really clicked in high school through basketball. We've stayed connected ever since, and it's been an awesome ride. So as life kind of takes us in each our directions and kind of gets unique and stays sharp as we connect and just share stories. It's awesome.
Yeah. So for your guys' business, where did the idea come from? Whose idea was it? And then how did it go? Whoever's idea was, whoever idea it was first. How did you pitch the other person to? How did you rope them in?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story actually. Like there was no one person that had an idea. It was just kind of like it happened. So we moved in together as roommates. I was working, you know, as a recruiter for tech companies. Brian was, you know, going to school, and we were pretty house poor. But we were also pretty poor. So like we didn't want to we don't want to pay for a bunch of furniture. So we went on Marketplace and like found furniture, and then we would, you know, pick up free stuff, sell it for $100, and then go pick up something for $100, sell it for $200, and then we just did that in our whole house until we had nice furniture.
Yeah, we get like stoked over like $30.
Yeah, it was like life changing. We're like, nice, like we can go get a new end table with us now. Yeah. And yeah, we ended up getting a pool table. And like another one, like it was like $100. It was honestly the biggest piece of trash I've ever seen in my life.
Where'd you guys get it?
We got it on Marketplace, and it was up in Airdrie, and we got it like last February, and it was just, man, it was something. But we sold it for $200. We picked up another one for $200, and then we're like, there we go, you know, let's keep it going.
A light bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah. We found a market and we cashed in on it immediately, and we've just been doing pool tables full time ever since. So.
Is there competition?
A little. I mean, obviously there's like the big guys that are, you know, selling new pool tables and doing the moves.
Big pool.
Yeah, big pool. Yeah. But
our main competition is probably private sellers.
Yeah.
Nice. And okay, so from your estimate, how many pool tables are there in the city of Calgary?
Let me carry the one quick.
Yeah. I don't know, like 1,000?
Yeah, okay.
1,000,000, 10,000? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Enough to keep us busy.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, nice. So what goes into moving a pool table, and is it really dependent on each pool table? Is a pool table like a snowflake? Each one's a little bit different. It's got its own unique characteristics, or is it?
A little.
Okay. Yeah.
I bet it's more of an art than a science. Hey, taking them apart, putting them back together, and then, or do you just kind of learn as you go, sort of thing?
There's a lot of things that are standard, and so we can look at a table now and be like, okay, that's a standard table. We're gonna be able to get that done in no time with maybe a bit of problem solving here, like a bolt seizes kind of thing. We'll work our way through it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever like dropped something on your toe?
No, not yet. A couple of scary, like black ice is our worst enemy right now. There's been some times where it's like we're carrying it and then your feet are just going out behind you and it's like throwing a piece of slate into a tailgate almost. Like it's like just not have this thing fall on me, you know? But actually, it's funny you mentioned that. One of our competition guys, he was walking and he fell backwards and the slate fell down onto him and he broke his back. Yeah, so it's pretty heavy.
No way.
High risk, yeah. Yeah, it was just he's okay. Lower back, but
he's okay except for his back.
Yeah, I mean he's got road recovery,
full mobility and all that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How heavy is a slate, or it depends?
Yeah, it depends on the table size. So like there's standards, right? So there's like 7 foot long tables, 8 foot long, and then 9 foot long. And then there's 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and then 1 1/4 thick. So, depending on the variation that you get there, I would say on average, an 8 foot table is probably going to be 1 inch thick, and it's about 200 pounds per slate. And then a 9x5 would be, closer to 250 or 300 pounds. So they're pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's the width of the slate that gets to you. I could care less about length. Like a 5x9 is fine, but when you add even like a 1/4 inch to the slate, it gets exponentially
Is it like
bigger.
awkward to grab?
No, you just put them up straight and carry them out.
What is the slate made out of?
Granite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you set up the table, you put the slate, and then what's in between the slate and the top layer of the felt? Is it just a layer of felt? It's like
just slate felt, and then it's stapled around.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But because there's 3 pieces of slate, so there's also a little bit of beeswax or Bondo, some sealant.
Yeah.
We use beeswax. Some people use Bondo. We picked up a table yesterday that was DIY. They use silicone. We've seen drywall mud.
You were cussing at him the whole time, picking that silicone out.
Yeah, but so there's also beeswax to seal the gaps as well.
Nice. So from what you guys know now, what so you get to a point in your life where you want to buy. Would you ever buy a new pool table?
We were actually talking about that last night. Funny enough. Yeah, so we funny story. Some guy's bar flooded downtown, and I mean it was in like sub road, so it was like really flooding. And then so we came in and we got like 8 sets of slate for free, and we don't know what to do with them now. So we're trying to hire a carpenter or something to help us make the tables, because God knows we went to school for like chemistry and psych. I don't know how to run a saw that well. This thing's gonna be like a 9th grader like home ec class, like so yeah,
make it out of pallets or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to source it, like build a table for under $1,000. It's not going to look pretty. So yeah.
Okay. So you guys got how many? You got five slates for free?
About 8. Yeah,
okay.
we got about 8 floating around.
So that's like two tables.
Oh no, we got
8 sets.
Yeah, 8 sets.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you have like 8 tables.
Yeah.
Or tables to be made kind of thing.
Are there any
nice.
pool halls in Calgary?
Tons.
Yeah. There's a few. Where we got our sets from was from a flooded pool hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And our living room's a great pool hall to go check out. I highly recommend.
Oh, nice. You guys have a table set up?
Oh yeah, at least 3 at all times. So yeah, we live in a shop.
Oh,
pretty much. Yeah.
You both play, obviously.
Yeah, who's the
Who
better
would
pool
win in a 7-game series?
Be honest, we're both pretty trash.
Yeah, I'd say it would be about 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coin toss for the winner.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just angle the table into a corner so the balls all roll into one pocket and we feel good about ourselves at the end of the game.
Nice. I deserve this one. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So so it kind of just happened. The market kind of sprung itself on you. Opportunity was there. So do you guys do this? Is this like a full-time thing now, or are you guys still working, doing other stuff, or this is like the market's there to do this full-time?
I'd say it's almost there to do it full time. So like we're both full time as it is. Obviously, we're starting a business, and even if you were starting like a successful side hustle, we'd probably want quite a few hours on it. So for now, it is full time. But I don't know that there's enough demand for pool tables to be bought, sold, and moved in Calgary, if used ones, to constitute full time. So we do have to start, looking into other markets, ping pong tables, foosball tables, maybe old arcade games,
Dartboards,
jukeboxes, something like that. Yeah. But for now, like we're definitely getting kept busy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. Okay, so Mason, are you still a recruiter, or
God no.
no?
God no.
How do you, I was curious about that because I remember this must have been a year ago or something. You were telling I think last time I kind of talked to you guys about this was probably then, and you were telling me that you were doing. How'd you get into recruiting, and what is that like, and what are the? 'Cause I remember I think a quote from you was like, you get and respect to, I don't know, the people that you're dealing with before. It's very interesting, like, because you're interviewing people pretty much like nonstop the whole day. So you see a lot of interesting people.
Yeah. So I mean, no disrespect to the company that I worked with, or the people that I used to work for, or even the profession itself. It wasn't for me. So I do see the appeal to it, but it was interesting, man. Like you're interviewing all day and you're talking to some pretty interesting people, and there's some people that like they're applying for a job, so they'll interview like literally they're driving in their car and they're like interviewing for a job. And then other people that like get full suit and tie and bow tie, tuxedo. They've got a teleprompter in front of them, so
The answers are all scripted.
Yeah, but no, I got into it. Like it was my first job out of university. They needed somebody there. They had a grant. They kind of hired me, put me where they needed me to be, and it just wasn't a fit.
Yeah. So from your so how many people do you think in that stint did you interview?
Oh,
like over 1,000, under 1,000?
Under 1,000, over 100 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from interviewing all those people, what skills from that you kind of enhanced or sharpened there have you brought over to your pool table business? Or have you been able to use them yet?
Yeah, no, I definitely think I have. I used to be like petrified of phone calls, man. Like I couldn't make a phone call to save my life, especially professionally. And I think that just being a recruiter has really opened that up for me. Like when I was recruiting, it was a big hill to get over, but now I have no problem, picking up the phone, talking to someone, talking to them professionally.
Total stranger as well.
Total stranger, yeah. And then like also there's a difference between speaking confidently and concisely versus kind of stuttering your words and using a lot of stuff like that. So
trying to get your way through
exactly being
or get
nervous.
your way through to the ask or whatever.
Exactly. So I'd say that those are skills. They didn't teach me how to lift slates or level a table, but
remove silicone.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you guys did you just have to tear they used silicone to secure the felt? That's what they did?
No, the slate, the crack between the two slates, there's a little bit of lip that develops, and you want to smooth that out so there's no like balls jumping off the table kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they used silicone, which then expanded and made even more of a ramp for the ball to kind of take off. Nice. So yeah,
nice. So how do you remove that? Do you just have to tear it, or do you got to use like a solvent or something?
Yeah, we're gonna use a solvent.
Oh, it hasn't. Oh, okay.
Hey, my chemistry degree coming in clutch.
Nice.
Yeah, go find an organic solvent. Let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. A little bit of acetone. There you go.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so Bryan, what previous experience did you have that you've brought into this pool?
Well, I was a student, right? So lots of desk time. I think my main attribute that I brought to the business was a big old fat gut, big barrel from being a student. I'm happy
rest
to
the slate
on.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that we've noticed too is like with this full-time labor job is like we're starting to actually chisel ourselves a bit and feeling good, and it's we got our first summer coming up doing it full time, so we're excited about that,
Beach season.
Yeah, exactly. But when it comes to it, I was a student. I like this job too because it gave me a lot of autonomy with my day. So I was able to kind of go out and also pursue dentistry. So I was out there shadowing and writing applications and a lot of personal statements. So it kind of gave me the flexibility to also pursue that kind of goal too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. What are the I guess like when do people want their pool tables moved? Like what time of day?
ASAP.
Yeah, well, like what kind of time frame do you guys have to work with?
Yeah, like
once you get
or
the call.
It depends. It's like quite flexible.
Yeah, people usually go in and then they, especially because it's a used market. So they'll go into some marketplace buy and they'll look at the pool table and the person selling wants it gone as soon as possible and the person buying is really excited. So we usually get a call and then we usually move within 1 to 2 days after that.
Oh,
Have you guys ever had like a situation go awry and, have some, maybe an unpleasant customer or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we've seen it all. One horror story I can tell you about was we were doing a table for a carpenter, and we were just doing a simple, like what's 50 divided by 2, and we decided it was 24. So we put a line on the table. Yeah, that is an inch off, and the carpenter walks down and just scratches his head at it and like decides to be quiet, and thank God he did, because once that line is drawn on the felt, it's pretty well scrapped if you do it wrong, right? There's no taking a Sharpie off of this felt. So, I mean, he was pretty reasonable about it, and that was, we're pretty good at not making the same mistake twice. So, yeah.
Nice. I was just laughing at Mason's face.
Yeah.
We've had some tough people.
Yeah. We had one guy, we like walked in and he just like criticized all of our tools and every aspect of the job that we were doing. He like tried to help the whole time and just like got in our way, and then like we got to like his house and we're like, dude, you like lied about everything. You lied about the size, the scope, where it was going. Like, we have to charge you more, dude. We're gonna lose money on this. And he's just like, just starts
what do you mean?
And then criticizing us the rest of the way.
For you guys, what's the perfect customer?
We like it when they feed us. We get fed pretty often, and then there's a lot of people like that watch over us, which is fine. If they don't, say anything, but we like it when they just leave us alone and let us do our thing.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to see them get excited too. They're shooting the pool before we're even out of the house, and they get really excited. You get to see smiles on their face, so it's a great part of the job.
I bet. It's a great game and it's super fun. It brings a lot of people together. Like, people love pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so when you guys aren't pool tabling, what are you guys doing? So you've been, like you said, you've been working the dentist grind.
Yeah. So that's been quite time consuming. As I was saying, there's a lot of applications, a lot of pre-interview, post-interview, interviews, like everything going on. But good news, got accepted to Los Angeles. So we'll be going down south probably start of August.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And then we're kind of all hands on deck to kind of get something that I can leave with Mason. So we kind of got a time crunch coming up here. So we'll get working.
Now your recruiting skills are
really
exactly. Do you have anyone else that you can that you lean on when one of you is busy? Not yet.
Your brothers.
Well, yeah, I guess my brothers. Yeah, I've called my brothers a few times to come in, help move slates or something. Yeah, but
and are they any interest from them?
No. No, they don't want this full time.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so anyone out there looking for looking to get chiseled, looking to get a hot bod for the summer?
That's the main selling aspect.
Yeah. Or looking to make a pool table under $1,000. That's what that's the budget.
Yeah.
Looking to really hone your artistic craft and budgeting skills.
Any carpenters out there?
Any carpenters out there who want to make a pool table, hit these guys up. Okay, so Bryan, you've been on the dentist grind. Mason, what do you do when you're not pool tabling?
That's a good question, man. I spend a lot of time pool tabling. But no, I really like to make music, man. I love
How's
making music.
How's that been going?
Slower, since this has started, but got a couple things in the works. So yeah, play guitar, sing, and got a couple of friends who produce, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Like a billiard hall rock kind of.
Yeah.
Anything like that in the works?
Yeah, making a jingle right now.
Yeah. And so, what is your...
How do you, describe your sound?
Man, that's a good question. I I would say it's kind of like Jack Johnson meets like indie pop kind of thing.
I like that.
Making banana pancakes in the pool hall. Something like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly. I actually wrote that song, dude. How did you know?
I have this whole telepathy. I'm taking a course online, masterclass.
Oh,
Yeah, mind reading. Yeah.
who's the instructor of that master class?
I was trying to think of someone funny, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Online guru guy.
yeah, some
Um,
online guru.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any big plans for the spring or summer? Any trips or anything like that coming up?
Yeah, I'm meeting up with some buddies from Florida. We're going to Florida. All my college buddies. We got a
Going
grad
down
trip
to
coming up.
Florida. That'll be really cool.
Post grad trip. That's where we went to Florida. So we're gonna do like a reunion and head back down.
Where in Florida you headed?
The Keys. Yeah,
That'll be really interesting.
yeah, nice and hot.
It's gorgeous down there.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've seen a couple shows. You guys gonna go alligator wrestling?
Something like that.
Yeah. Or
Can you
what's
hunt alligator in Florida?
I
You must
I
be
don't
able
think
to.
so. Well, you probably can, but I don't know if you're
Really?
supposed to. Like you can
Is there
you
like a
can do
hunting
anything.
season for alligator?
I think it's the cougars that you want down there.
This guy. No. What are the prop planes? Or not the prop planes? The
Like
boats. The boats with
oh.
the big fans on the end of them. I don't know what those are called.
Fan boat.
Fan boat.
Fan
Yeah,
boat.
that's probably what it's called. Are you guys doing anything like that, or where? So you're going to the Keys, or is it just laying on a
Just
beach?
laying on a beach and drinking.
Are you gonna do any
Right.
fishing at all?
Probably not. It's these guys are degenerates. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's one of the things I want to ask you. So you guys went and did a big hike. What was is it the West Coast Trail?
Yeah, West Coast Trail.
What was that like? What was that experience like? The build up to. Okay, so what did you expect going into it, and what did you? How did it either meet those expectations or divert from those expectations?
It was awesome, dude. It was amazing. I would say going into it, I was expecting war, and coming.
So maybe just for like people out there who don't know what the West Coast Trail is, like if you could. Maybe,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the West Coast Trail, it's a 7-day hike up the west coast of Canada. So on Vancouver Island, you just go like from one point to the other. It's 75 kilometers, and it's mostly on a beach, but a lot of it's in the forest as well. Yeah.
All right. So you expected it to be war.
I expected war, and like, yeah, no, it was amazing. I expected war. It was a little bit like war, but it was also, the most freeing and calm my mind has ever been. You're in the middle of nowhere. You got no phones. You got no responsibilities. There's nothing there. It's just, put your head down and walk 20K today. That's it. That's all you think about. When you get hungry, you eat, and then when you get tired, you sleep at like 7 p.m. And
That sounds like an absolute blast.
it was unreal.
Yeah.
It was unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of bliss to just have, like, you're walking down, you got your grinding, you got your heavy bag on you, you've been going all day, you've only had like 300 calories in your system, and it's like 4 p.m. and you're just sitting there and you're like, this is awful, this is awful, this is awful, and you're just grueling through it, and then you get there and you're like, oh, well, if my brain says one thing all day, it's actually really nice and bliss.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, and then you look over your shoulder and you see these beautiful views and you see eagles in the trees, and it's really great. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the most challenging part about that, and what was the best part?
I think the most challenging would probably be preparation. So, obviously there was we scheduled it in February. We didn't do it until mid-July. So there's months of prep. And one of the things that we learned was not to over prep. When you're in the woods, you need one thing to protect you from bears, one thing to like a knife for cougars, bear spray for bears, and then you eat, sleep, and poop. And that's it. That's all you do. So, you bring stuff for that. And it was really easy to just way over prepare. Think you need oh, I need something to roll my back out at the end of the day. I need walkie-talkies. I need, a game to play. I need a book to read. Like, you don't need any of that. You're gonna eat, sleep, poop, and protect yourself. That's it. Yeah.
I remember I packed a GoPro and I was super excited to take pictures the whole hike. And the second we get on the ferry that takes you to the trailhead, I got one photo with it and then it died. So I had to carry this thing with me the whole hike.
Yeah, just dead weight after that.
So it goes to show, bring one camera and maybe an extra battery. But
Yeah.
You got to coordinate through everyone and delegate.
Yeah. So when you guys hike, was it just you two, or was there like another group of people? Because that's like for that it's kind of like the way I understand it is it's kind of they limit the amount of people that come. So you kind of like you apply to go, you get a permit, and then do you go with like a group of people, like a cohort kind of, or is it just like, nah, this is me and Mason's thing. See you guys later. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we went with two of my college buddies, but
Oh, okay.
it is like you book and then you just show up within that day, and then they just send you on your merry way. So like there was groups that we would see along the way, but for the most part, man, it was just the four of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started also on the hard side of the hike. It kind of breaks into two halves, and there's a river that runs all the way up, and that kind of is the halfway point. And there's a ferry that picks you up. So we started on the hard side of the hike, and there was like no one there. There was like 1 or 2, 3 people at each campsite, and then you got to the halfway point where the ferry is, and then it's just filled with people the whole way down the beach and everything, because people walk, the 2-3 day hike, and then they take that ferry home.
Oh, okay.
So we got to see the really quiet side and then the really busy side after.
So like the busy side, how many people would have that you've seen there?
Oh, you're fighting for a camp spot kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the beach.
Okay.
What's that like?
It was all right. I mean, you just go find something. It's not your first pick, and you got to make sure you're far enough away from the tide. That's kind of all you got to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah. Any wildlife that you guys saw besides eagles? You guys said lots of eagles. Yeah.
Lots of eagles. One time a branch fell, and we all just shit our pants. Yeah, I remember a big branch fell down, and then we all just stopped walking, and our pupils just dilated, and we're all just sitting there, goosebumps, and thinking that we're
slowly reaches for the knife.
exactly. We're like, okay, here we go. Here's a cougar in the bush, and but no, nothing.
I've been prepping for this.
Yeah, and we actually lost the bear spray at one point. You sit down a bunch, and you're not sitting on anything like a chair, so it gets bumped out. It happens, and then so we stopped. We lost the bear spray, and then 4 or 5 stops later, we found another bear spray on the ground. So kind of we just swapped with
It
someone.
evens out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, how many people do that, like that trek per year? It's got
I
to
think
be
there's like 1,000 is like the
okay.
yeah. It's a small amount.
Okay. Yeah. So they keep it pretty protected.
Yeah.
And so so when you apply, so the application process, how does that work? You go on westcoasttrail.com and then make an application kind of thing, or how does that?
We had a group chat on Skype or something going on. This is pre-COVID before Zoom blew up. But yeah, we were sitting there and we all have like 20 tabs open. And it says, okay, we're going to put you in a queue. So wait, refresh. And then all of us went in the queue, and I was like 16,000th in line or whatever, and because everyone's doing like 50 queues. And so then luckily we got someone who was like 300th. And then that one got us in.
Nice.
Yeah, because everyone goes. So it opens up at a specific time, right? But everyone goes to the website before it opens up, because they all know if they do that, then they might get it.
Yeah.
So instead of just putting you in line, it just it takes all the people that are there, and then it just puts them into a totally random queue. And so we all had a bunch of tabs open, because every tab was a different number in the queue. And yeah, Brian was like 16,000, and luckily someone in our group was like, in the hundreds.
Getting caffeinated.
Fifi.
Yep.
Yeah, just playing the online queue game.
Pretty
kind of
much.
thing. Yeah, so it's about 1,000 people, and then there's a couple tens of thousands of people trying to.
Well, times 50, right? So each person has 50 tabs open to get in the queue, Right.
Okay.
Play the random game and hopefully get sooner.
Oh, nice. Maybe we shouldn't release this podcast.
Yeah.
Now people know the strategy.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. It's like speed running strat. Yeah.
Well, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
What was is there any like one particular moment from that trip that sticks out in your mind? Like one view or one animal you saw, one really, I don't know, big tree, anything like that?
Yeah, a couple. So there was one section called Owens Point. And so like what we're doing here is like we're hiking along the beach. So we have these cards that have all of the tides and how the tides are going to come in. So we have to make sure that we're racing to beat the tides. So to do that, it's like we have to get up at 4 a.m, walk, 10 kilometers where the tides are low, and then retreat to the trees if we want to see something. So one of the areas was Owens Point. The tide went down. There was about 3 kilometers of, boulders, and they were as tall as, both of us to get over. Super slippery because they're covered, obviously, in water and algae. So it was terrifying to get across. It was super, super hard. But then you get to Owens Point, and it's like just this massive like rock wall with like holes and caves that you could explore, and that part was awesome.
That sounds wicked.
What was there any points where you almost got caught in the tide? Or you guys timed it pretty good? There's like points where you're walking on the beach, and then that part at a specific time you can't walk there, like it's covered by ocean, kind of thing. Okay, but you didn't get caught up in that, or?
I mean, there was times where you'd finish the day. I remember actually I was pretty good with keeping my boots dry, except for one time I was crossing this like little log over a river and I fell in. You know how it goes. And then the rest of the day I didn't care, so I was just trudging through the water. I was up to my ankles, and like I didn't care at that point. So
yeah. I just when I even like when we've talked about this before, I just think of like just being wet for like 10 days.
Yeah, it
just soaked.
Yeah.
And like everything you change into soaked.
Yeah, once it's wet, it stays wet.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's too humid to dry. We got really lucky with the weather, actually. It didn't rain much on us, but yeah, there's some people they go and it's 7 days straight of just trudging through the rain.
Yeah.
What time of year did you guys go?
Summer.
Yeah, summer,
June,
mid-July.
Just before Stampede, that's right. I came back, and then I did a whole week of drinking, and boy, did I get dehydrated. My face swelled up. Yeah, like my eyes wouldn't open. I was I was in a bad place. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't great. Yeah.
And then I ended up getting massive blisters, like the whole back of my heel was kind of peeling off kind of thing. And I ended up doing like 30K in my Crocs.
Oh my God.
So those things are like
This was
framed on my wall
at the
now.
Stampede, right?
Yeah.
What'd be nice is, well, did you guys pack like extra socks?
Or did the socks just get wet?
I brought like one pair of socks for each day, and then and that's like the only clothing that I actually changed every day.
Yeah, I brought extra socks, and the only thing I could ever recommend to anyone doing that trail that you should bring extra of is socks.
Yeah. And double zip block them.
Exactly. Keep everything
Burn 'em.
dry. Yeah, and then burn them after. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to sleep next to this guy, so oh man, that tent was a stink bomb in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up, were you guys big campers? Did you do a lot of camping?
I did Cub Scouts, since grade school, so I've always kind of been out there doing winter camping even, and being pretty involved in the outdoors.
Yeah. Mason, same with you, or?
Not really. No. We were big glampers for sure.
Nice.
Like my parents had a trailer, and we'd always go when I was really young. We'd always go camping in the trailer. But it was not tenting in the winter by any means.
Yeah.
But yeah, got really into it like in my adult life. So
Yeah, COVID came around, and all of a sudden there's nothing to do, right? So we ran to the Rocky Mountains, and that's when we really developed the muscle to do it and everything.
You ran to the Rocky Mountains?
Well, that's metaphor.
Metaphor. I've met a guy who walked there before, so I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
you ran there. That's impressive. Okay, so yeah, because one of the things I remember from my childhood is you and Bryan and Mason, like you guys are both good friends with my younger brother Malcolm. a friend of the podcast. And that's kind of how I know you guys, right, is through Malcolm a bit. But one of the things I remember is, Bryan, you and Malcolm would go, and it wasn't yearly or anything, but you guys would go out to Saskatchewan for a fishing trip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we would even what was it? We would drive and then we would hit till the road ends in northern Saskatchewan. Then we would get out and quad, and we would quad K's through the trees, and then we would get into boats, and we would boat through riverways and up lakes, and then we were so northern Saskatchewan too that the sun wasn't setting. So I don't even know if it was Saskatchewan. We're probably up in the territories. Anyway, we'd go out there and we just catch monster fish out crazy North Canada.
Jeez, I didn't realize that's where you guys. I just in my mind I was like, oh yeah, Malcolm's in Saskatchewan with Bryan.
Oh no,
Larry. No, I didn't realize that's what you guys were doing.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. We would it was my uncle, and he had his First Nations. So he'd be like, yeah, you can go out, but when you do, please do some labor, go cut me down a path to the next lake over kind of thing. So we're out there operating chainsaws, and we're like, if we ever hurt ourselves, it is hours and helicopters to get back to safety.
Do you have a sat phone or anything like that up there? Or no,
there was one cell antenna, and this thing is a joke. You had to sit right next to it to get any reception and whatnot. I mean, and I was 15 at the time, so for me that was how I connected to Instagram, and I put that stereotypical fish picture up, on the Tinder.
Is it a fish?
Priorities, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. So do you still go out there at all, or not really anymore?
Life's got busy,
Yeah.
and I'd love to get back out. I think that's probably a goal of mine this summer, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Whereabouts would you go to get to where you went? How would you get there from?
Yeah, so
From
if we wanted to leave today, where would we go? We drive east, obviously.
Yeah,
and then up.
Put an RV or a 4x4 in the back of or a trailer, get in the car and take that to Saskatchewan and just go straight north kind of thing. And
because my aunt lives in La Ronge, and that's probably about the farthest north I've been. But I mean, I don't know if you guys are close to there or anything like that.
No. Yeah, we were
much further north.
Nowhere.
Yeah. What's the landscape there? Because for me, Saskatchewan is kind of not well. I haven't spent much time in Saskatchewan, so I know that there's lots of lakes, and then I know it's from the highway. I always thought it was funny that people joke that Saskatchewan's flat, but in terms of on the highway, Saskatchewan's not that flat. It's kind of you have dips and.
Yep.
And then Manitoba is the really flat part. You drive through Manitoba and it's it's dead flat. It's on a level, man. And then, but Saskatchewan, or from on Highway 1 kind of thing, it's always dips and stuff like that. But I don't know from where you guys were. So you get straight north in the territories, basically. What does the landscape change?
It's hard to kind of really tell you because you're in the bush the whole time. So right, you can't really see past your nose kind of thing.
A lot of woodland.
Yeah. A lot of ups and downs in the 4x4, but nothing too notable.
Okay.
Yeah. Right by lakes.
lot of. Is there a lot of poplars there, or is it more tundra once you get up that north?
I
think
You
it's
couldn't
more
tell the-
yeah,
tundra.
More tundra.
more tundra.
Yeah, not a lot of trees. From your memory, you were too busy taking fish
Well,
pics.
it depends
Yeah.
on.
Hey, check out this massive fish I just caught, ladies.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy forest.
Okay.
We're into.
Yeah. And so Mason, you so you were more of a glamper growing up.
More of a glamper growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Raiden?
We were a hotel family.
Best
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah. Not camping really. I think my camping. There was a couple camping experiences, but not with my parents. Yeah, no, we were
School or
through school. I remember we went to Mount Kidd once and
Mount or Camp Horizon?
Camp Horizon. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was quite the. What's the book where they're all Lord of the Flies? Yeah, it's kind of Lord of the Flies situation a little bit there. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I don't know, Rick. What was I gonna say?
Were you about to talk more about camping?
Yeah, No, I was never a big
Camping's
camping guy.
fun.
It is fun.
We used to get BB guns every year. We went out to do summer solstice camping, and it was just a war among the kids. Like, we're like, all right, it's on. We get there, get out of the cars, everyone just bolts, and then it's on.
That sounds pretty
That is
fun.
Lord of the Flies if I've ever heard
Yeah.
it.
It was really fun,
Nice.
but it hurts too.
Yeah. I never played too much like airsoft or
Yeah.
like we were never allowed BB guns.
But you have adult money now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you
That's
can
true.
go buy
I
airsoft
guess
guns.
I am allowed. Yeah.
Did you guys ever do summer camps? as
Like
kids?
Camp Chief Hector
Yeah.
did that one a couple times. Got bucked off a horse.
Good for you.
Sucked. I guess I kind of fell.
Don't blame yourself.
Yeah, but
Yeah, my no, I never did summer camps. Did you guys do summer camps?
Yeah, I did a couple of summer camps, mostly like Christian summer camps, which
Nice.
was I don't know why I was there, but yeah, no, they were fun, man. Like you just kind of go and play games and then vibe. I went to
And
one
vibe,
though
yeah.
that was for like all boys.
Yeah.
And it was pretty gnarly because like it was just boys' activities. So like we would like shoot guns and stuff and
Where's this camp? I want to go.
yeah, no kidding. All of the games we played were like full contact, and so like one kid like broke his arm in the week that we were
Yeah.
there. Like I'm shocked that they were allowed to do what they did. And then we we were all shooting guns at the gun range, and like we stole some bullets, and we took them back to our our cabin, and we took. I probably shouldn't say this, but we took like a
Statute of limitations.
yeah. We took like a paper towel, that cardboard thing inside it, and we just filled it up with like all the gun. Like we took off the tops, filled it up with gunpowder, sealed it up, and then like threw it into fire on the beach, and
Guys
then
are
just like
straight.
stood back and
You guys are making pipe bombs.
Yeah, literally.
yeah. And it's like, where are your parents? Who was supervising us? Yeah, no, but
It's
it was
camp,
awesome.
man. It's allowed.
It was camp. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's what you do at camp. It
Yeah,
was
you explore. You explore
Yeah.
nature and
How to build a pipe bomb.
explosives. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
101.
I can't remember who it was, but it was Camp Horizon one year, but two kids fought in the little shacks we had.
Yeah, like
But
the
it wasn't
dorms
like
kinda thing.
like, hey, screw you, man. It was like, hey, you want to have a friendly fist fight?
Yeah.
Sure.
Buckies and gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that before.
Oh, we
that
did,
was when I had braces and I
well,
we
that
did
was
like a cage
that we did a
rage kinda
cage
thing.
rage, yeah.
Yeah,
Brett Bassett, Rob, and
Jacob. Yeah, I remember that. I had braces, so it just looked like you like punched me in the mouth once and then it's like just blood. Yeah.
You got me in the jaw, and I was like rolling it for like 4 hours after. I was like, that really hurt.
Boys being boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know what it is about that, but just like throwing shit in like fires is like, I don't know, like it like kind of like scratches some sort of itch.
Sort
Yeah,
in your
primal,
brain, right?
primal hunger for
Like I don't know.
destruction.
Literally. So I remember like even like with like you do like with like Axe body spray or something like that.
Yeah.
That was the big one. And then
Yeah.
just watch shit explode.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a really good story about that. I was working at this home staging company, and we end up going to this house, and it turns out to be one of my brother's ex-girlfriend's place, and there was a pellet gun, so like a step up from like a BB gun.
Yeah. A little more dangerous.
And I was talking to the manager on site, and I was like, "Can I take this home? Like, I know whose house this is." And she said it was fine. And he was like, "Sure." So we had this thing for like 2 weeks, me and John and
Unsupervised.
unsupervised. And then we take it out one day, and I'm with a couple of buddies of mine. And we put a Axe body cans spray bottle on like some rocks. We go back 20 yards. We try to shoot it, and we clip it, and there's a bit of a fire going already, and it blows up, and it was loud. And this is like right above Aspen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah.
I remember the dumbest thing I did, and this was like in university, was, and I should have known better, but this was like, I took one, like the little Bic lighters, like the see-through ones, so you can see the butane in it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, like that liquid, I wonder what that's like. So I like put it on the ground, and I took a hammer, and then I like broke it open. But then like the butane, like when it's in regular atmosphere, just like evaporates.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty volatile.
Yeah. And so it's like that thing's under pressure, and so I just hit it, and then it exploded. And I was like, no like glasses or anything. I'm like, yeah, I want to see what's this like weird liquid? What's it all about? Boom! And then it's like, oh shit! Like, yeah, I could have lost an eye right there.
Yeah. I had a silly string for one of my parties, and we had a fire going on in the backyard. So everyone's drunk, and we're playing a silly string, and someone thought it was a good idea to put it in the fire. So in it goes, and we're all like head above the fire, like 2 feet away, staring at this thing. Dangerous.
Wow,
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for this to blow up. Let me put my head in front of it. And we're sitting there, and it's kind of like a faulty grenade. We give up on it. Oh, nothing's going to happen. And so we walk away, and now I'm standing, 30 feet away. No one's at the fire, and that kind of excitement's dissolved. And we're standing there, and then all of a sudden it's just like kaboom. And I mean, logs are flying out of this fire, and like my mom's furniture, which she just bought, had a bunch of like burn marks in it. And like, it's a good thing no one was around it, because they would have got seriously injured. This thing was a bomb. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, for anyone thinking of doing this out there,
Yeah.
please don't do that.
We're professional.
Yeah. I watched the YouTube video once.
Yeah.
Okay, so more of a glamper, but more of a camper. You think it was COVID that really kind of pushed you to like go out camping more, or was it what was the situation that brought you guys to be living together in the first place? Because Bryan, you were living out in Nova Scotia for a long time. It's kind of like after high school, I guess. Like Bryan, you moved out to Antigonish, and then Mason,
I was in Kelowna.
Right.
So yeah, we both did university in kind of our own cities, and we stayed in touch. Obviously, we've known each other since grade 4.
Yeah.
Good buddies in high school. But like I'd say for the mountains and for hiking, like COVID was a push for sure, but living in Kelowna with all those mountains and being in BC, obviously, around BC people who are all very much in the mountains, that also was like, that's what got me into it kind of thing. So I got into hiking, and I got into, snowboarding more, and we did a little bit of rock climbing and stuff like that. And then when COVID came around, it was just like, what else are we going to go do?
Yeah. Let's go to the wilderness.
Exactly. You want to see your friends? It's like, we'll go meet them in the forest somewhere. So it really was a good push, and we just fell in love with it. And how we came to live together was just like being buddies, and we both wanted to move out, and
Yeah, it was the start of COVID, and we're both living with our parents. We just got back from school, so that's what you do, right? You move back in with your parents, and COVID hits, and we're sitting there, and you're with your parents 24/7, right? And so we were itching to get out of that house, and so an opportunity arose, and we both kind of were like, yeah, let's go get a place together. And
yeah, he texted me, and then I was like, because you were living at your mom's, and then your mom left, and then you're like, yo, a bedroom opened up, and I was there, bags packed that day.
All right, where's my room? Where's my room?
Yeah, I was out of my parents' house, man. I need to get out of there.
Fair. Right. Nice. So I guess what year would have this been? This would have been 2020?
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you moved back to Calgary when? Like how long were you?
I was back in 2020, summer of 2020. I wasn't supposed to come back though. I was working at a job in Kelowna, and then COVID happened, and we were a housing company that paired young people with older people.
Okay.
So it was a little tough to sell that during the beginning of COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
So we went to online, and
non-COVID times. I think that's a really good idea.
It was a great idea.
Yeah.
It was an awesome company, but after COVID, it was a hard sell. So we went to online. I moved back home, and then school. Like I had to finish school after, so school was online, and then I just stayed at home because why pay rent, right? So
Yeah, fair. Yeah, and then Brian, for you, when did you come back to Calgary? What was the?
I remember it was 2019, and I was out at a St. Patty's Day party, and like this is pre-COVID, and COVID hasn't showed up in Canada yet. So everyone, I got like a big group of like 400 people in a field right now, and then all of a sudden the university, like this is a university party, and the university sends out an email saying, "Oh, go home. Like school's done, COVID's happening, take out your exams online." And you can imagine what the party went through emotionally as this email comes in. It's just all of a sudden like, yeah, let's party, school's done. And then so everyone hits the bottle, and then people start to rationalize it, and they're like, oh my God, this is one of the last times I'm going to see my university friends. So it was this massive high and then this massive low. Like it was like people just drunk, ugly, crying everywhere. It was just this gong show. And then the next day it was a ghost town. Yeah, everyone went home.
Crazy.
Within the weekend. Yeah.
And so this was out in Halifax.
Out in Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And then we came home and then lived with my parents.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so that would have been kind of 2021 as well too. That
Yeah, 2019 kind of into getting close to
2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. And so, both of you moved home. All right. Love my parents, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
On to the next chapter.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I wanted to circle back a bit. So this housing company that you were working for, what I'm kind of curious about that. What was the?
Yeah. So I mean, it was an awesome company. I loved working there. It's called Happy Pad. What they did basically was they were trying to pair. Like they found that there was a bunch of senior citizens or older people that were empty nesters, or they had kids that graduated and moved out, and so there's these people that had big houses, a lot of empty rooms, and no one there. So they were not only super socially isolated and lonely, but they also had pretty prime real estate that could produce income for them and cure their loneliness essentially. So it was a platform that tried to match people based off of personality, basically just take those spare bedrooms and fill them with younger people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any take? Was it just in Kelowna, or was it kind of everywhere?
It was, so it started in Kelowna. It was BC wide, spreading into Alberta when I left the company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they're Western Canada based now.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing, because you're probably totally indoctrinated into what there's like, or indoctrinated is not the right, educated on that, because it's interesting, like just seeing, like, because I think I'm in the super fortunate position where both my grandparents are still alive, and my parents are but it's interesting kind of seeing like these generational challenges that pop up with that.
Yeah.
And kind of because you want people, like my grandma, for example, she has Alzheimer's, and it's important for her to you read there's everyone has a different approach to how you can treat something, but a big one, especially for older adults, is living in place kind of thing, or aging in place, I think is the word that they use for it. And it's and how that's important, and how big changes can kind of can negatively impact that. But at the same time, it's it's kind of a catch-22, because it's not really safe for her to be living on her own kind of thing. And and then as well too, it's from the younger person side too, is there's a fucking housing crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking real estate's fucking insane.
Especially
So
in BC.
Yeah. Well, BC. But I guess everywhere too at the same time. So I don't know. That's an interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, it was hard to make it take. There's competitors like Airbnb and VRBO. So it's tough, but I liked the idea of it for sure.
Yeah. I find that the housing's probably a tough thing. The kind of comes down to probably the execution of it, especially like if you're like in a non-traditional like kind of like cut and paste kind of thing, because it like requires a bit of like wiggle room and flexibility from both parties. So interesting. I wanted to jump to something. You guys both have tattoos on your feet, right?
Yes.
What does it say?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We were talking about that before.
We thought it was fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one. No.
Could you maybe tell me the story? Because from what I know is that you guys just I think I was with Malcolm, so that's my brother.
Does he have it too?
I don't think so, because I remember I was driving with him once. He's like, "Oh, like you guys are someone in your friend group or something, like, oh, they're at this party and everyone's getting yes tattoos on their feet." So he really wanted to go, but like we were like, we had to do something else. Yeah. So he couldn't make that one. But so what's the story behind this? And for those of the people that don't know, could you tell us more about these feet tattoos?
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. Like I just got a yes tattoo on my foot from, a friend in Kelowna, just stick and poke. Just because, I wanted to live my life by like this idea of like, yes, like I love that idea where you just kind of like, you say yes to things, you do them. If you hate them, you don't do them again. If you love them, great. Now you had fun.
It's a good story. Even if you hate it, it's a good story.
What's
exactly.
That quote? It's like, it's better to have done so and then to regret not having done so, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I got that tattoo just to kind of remind me. And then I went home and, a buddy of ours looked at the tattoo and he was like, "I kind of want that tattoo." And I was like, "I'll give it to you." So I went upstairs and I got stick and poked, hammered. I've never done a stick and poke before. I was hammered.
Wiki how, man? It's
great. Yes, no, straight up. He was like, "So you've done this before, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Do you want to like at least watch a YouTube video?" And I was like, "I think I got it.
I can do this."
Yeah. So I just sent it and you got a yes tattoo.
90% of the.
That was the best one we did, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest went to shit.
Yeah.
I think I got mine next after that. So it went Mason, Landon, then me. And I remember being like, okay, I'm going to get this tattoo, but I'm going to make sure Mason's not wasted when he gives it to me. Anyway, I remember finishing up work, and then I was like, all right, let's get it on, or let's get it done. So I put my foot up on the table, and then Mason takes his stick and poke, and I remember like watching the first time he does it. It's this 4-pronged needle, and he puts it into my foot, and this thing goes like 5 millimeters into my skin. And
a lot further than you were.
And then he pulls it out, and like I just watched the skin just like build a tent under the needle as it comes out. And I was like, oh God, this is like in my bloodstream now. We're in it to win it. And how he put the stencil too was like he grabs like a Bic pen and he just puts yes on my foot, and then all of a sudden that's why I got some Bic pen.
So how many people have this tattoo that you guys know about? I don't think Malcolm has.
So that's the best part about it, is like anyone can get it. The whole like rule of it now is just someone else has to kind of give it to you.
Okay.
So it's open invite, but preferably drunk when they give it.
It's like the Yellowstone brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I gave it to like 6 people. And there was we went camping one day, and that's where we got like most of them done. And I was just sitting there giving tattoos all day, and like you're camping, so you're just getting more and more drunk throughout the day. And I was like, "Yo, if you want your tattoos, come get them now." And then like by the end of it, I was just like, I was done. I was hammered, and then I just like got halfway through like one of our buddy Gavin's tattoo. I like halfway through it, and then I just like gave up, and then I just like looked at like the girl that was to my right, and I was just like, "Here, you finish." And then I just gave it to her, and she just started going, and then she gave up. She gave it to someone else, and then it's like. Yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
Virtuous cycle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah. Someone's out there with just a yee.
Actually, though, yeah, our buddy Sean, his lost the Y. So
S.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the motto I live my life by. S.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so there's probably a good like 10, 20 people who have this have this tattoo.
Yeah, it's snowballed, and I
Yeah.
think we're just trying. Everyone's like, "Oh, I want to get it now. I want to get it." It's been like 4 years, and
Well, that's
like-
what Malcolm. That's what Malcolm's like. Oh yeah.
yeah,
I want
if you want it, we're like, okay, yeah, just order the kit on Amazon, and we'll give it to you. That's the only catch. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Is it exclusively a foot tattoo
No.
Has anyone
for
got it somewhere
everyone
else?
that has gotten it? Or
Everyone's gotten it on their foot so far,
Yeah.
but you guys can get it wherever you want.
Yeah, you can get it on your forehead if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so just thinking, I wanted to ask you guys about that because I remember like Malcolm was like very excited about like, or he was really trying to. It's like, okay, we need whatever. I can't remember what we were doing, but it's like okay, we got to get this done because I need to go here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he had. I guess he'd never. I don't think he has it. I don't know, Malcolm. You can let me know if you actually got it or not.
Yeah, and for context too, it's not like a fine handwritten yes or anything. It's just block like capital letters YES. Like it's it's pretty, yeah.
It's pretty bare bones.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
you guys excited for Stampede this year?
Yeah, very much. Yeah. I usually use it for like a concert venue now. As I
Yeah.
get older, it's less of a
A
let's
lot of people are coming this year, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know what the entire list includes, but Jack Harlow's one of them. My
Yeah.
boy Jackie.
Yeah.
Saw a Doritos commercial with him in it. With a triangle. Have you seen that?
No,
It's quite funny.
I was gonna say I don't know who Jack Harlow is, but I do know who Jack
Yeah.
Harlow is. He's pretty sick. A friend who I lived with in university, his this is kind of a tangent, but it's loosely connected. His sister is like becoming famous. She's like I think she got nominated for a Juno or won a Juno. Devin
Wow.
Cole.
Okay.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. Little Calgary legend right now. Right?
Yeah. And so so she was at the Junos. So I guess the Junos were in like a couple days ago.
Yeah, in
Edmonton.
right?
And then there was
Yeah.
a topless protester. I don't know if you guys saw
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Okay, I gotta show you guys this. So my friend, Mike, he was there, and I got it. Okay, let's see if I can find this. But so from the like the recording or what, like the live shot, because they kind of went off camera.
Yeah.
They like.
And she was turned around.
No, okay, so I haven't even looked. I just saw that happened, but all I saw on his Instagram story was let's see if it's still there. Oh, I don't think it's still there anymore. It was his story, and it's just him, and he's just like because they went to the audience, and he was there, right? And so it's just like him in the audience, and it's just like.
That is funny.
So so hopefully, because I missed her last year. She was playing at the Coke stage, so I want to go and give her some support there. So, but yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
just a woman gasping.
yeah,
Oh my.
yeah. It was pretty funny. So, shout out to Mole. Yeah, Mole. Okay, so more of a concert venue for you, hey?
Yeah, why not, right? Cheap
Yeah.
concerts. And as you get older, you're feeling less like. I mean, I've spent my fair share of nights on stairs in Stampede, sleeping on benches.
Yeah,
So you know, I'm a grizzled vet, and gonna take it more for its value.
yeah.
Like the Chuck Wagons and
The Grand Sancho.
Over and Under.
Yeah, over and under.
That's an addicting game.
What's over and under?
It's the gambling game they have on the concourse there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how do you play over and under again?
It's just this big wheel that spins, and it's 14 numbers. If it's the 7, you get like, it's like green, you know, red
Yeah.
or black. Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's below 7, it's kind of black kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a roulette type thing.
Yeah.
Do you have to be 18 to play those games?
You
I
do.
think so.
Oh, okay.
I watched a guy walk up with like $500 and he just threw it down, instantly loses. And it's
But imagine if you won.
You know, 99% of gamblers quit right before the big win.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys like gambling? You a gambler?
It's fun. I'm
Yeah.
not very good at it though.
Something to do
I
when.
think most people aren't good at it.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's a institution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hate gambling, man. I'm too cheap for it. Like, I like doing it, but I don't like spending
Yeah.
the money.
Oh, did you text me something?
I did.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to take a quick bathroom break. And we're back. How was the bathroom break, everyone?
No, relieved.
Loved it.
10 pounds lighter.
Yeah, satiated.
Nice. Beautiful. Oh, that was the second thing I wanted to make sure that I brought up, or that I wanted to ask you about. And sorry, Mason, this doesn't really have much to do with you, but Bryan, can you tell me a little bit about the lobster research that you did for a summer?
Yeah, so I've actually signed a confidentiality, so I can't really get into what we were building, but I can tell you it was a cryogenic freezing solution. So we were trying to make some kind of
This is real, the confidentiality thing?
because it's got industrial use.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Big lobster, well, look out.
millions and millions of dollars. No, it was actually really great. So we were trying to make a solution where you could take lobster, put it in, freeze it instantly with like liquid nitrogen, get it really cold really fast, and that would allow somehow for the fats in the tissue to not, because when they freeze, ice crystals are pretty sharp and they just have so much tissue damage. So we're trying to avoid that kind of thing and minimize it. And then so the whole idea was to build it for lobsters and then scale it up and then do human organs like brains and stuff, because it's a super fatty tissue, right? So it's got application. Really exciting, but it still hasn't come out yet. But lots of lobster tasting.
Nice.
Yeah, and we hired like nutritionists and stuff too to do blind taste tests, and it was really fun. I'm a little sick of lobster, and I would like shuck so much lobster and whatnot, and my hands would just be red at the end of the day from just pigment bleaching into my skin. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. That's cool. Okay, I didn't realize that it was that was related to human organs or anything like that.
Yeah, that was the goal of it.
I thought you were just literally like just grabbing. This is like, wow, man. This is like the second time. It's like, oh yeah, we actually went to this like crazy super remote place in Saskatchewan, maybe the Northwest Territories. Actually, I was I was studying lobsters to see the effects of freezing
brain tissue.
fat. Yeah, brain tissue.
Dude, I thought you were eating at a Red Lobster.
Yeah, I thought you were literally just cracking open lobsters like on the daily to be like, okay, this is like, I don't know.
And then putting it in a freezer.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of what we did, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
We used pretty much, I can tell you we used gums. And so it was like almost like a Metamucil kind of solution that we were freezing it in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, okay, so you're sick of lobster. I guess, where's the best lobster in Calgary? Do you know?
We're pretty landlocked.
Well, yeah, no, I was like,
Yeah.
do they bring in lobster from anywhere?
It's all frozen, and that's why there's so much demand for it, is because how does lobster get from A to B? You can't ship a dead lobster because the meat spoils.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to freeze it. And that's
Yeah.
why you never have lobster tails in Calgary. You always have like lobster nachos or not lobster rolls, right? It's always mixed and
That's
blended.
from the claw?
No,
Oh.
the meat's frozen, and then the meat kind of gets gross once it's frozen. So you
Okay.
usually mix it with butter or a creamy paste. That's why a lobster is always mixed with something in Calgary. That's
Oh,
why you don't
shit.
get lobster tails here in Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah, even from the like a live lobster?
I know if it's live, you can serve it in the shell.
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thing. Yeah. So that's why it's so expensive, is because you have to ship a live lobster into Calgary for you to get a lobster tail on your plate.
Is there any lobster farms in Calgary?
No.
Okay.
Is there any saltwater in Calgary?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They got lobsters in that little fish tank.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what
a superstore.
I watched a video. I don't think this isn't in Calgary, but it was a guy. He took one of those and like rehabilitated it, and it like he just has it as his pet. It's Leon the Lobster. I'm pretty sure you can buy a T-shirt with Leon.
That guy is a true
way.
hero.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, so he buys the lobster and he brings it into a fish tank, and then he like, because they have the rubber bands on the claws, right? Clips those off, and then just starts feeding it, gives it like things to like play with, so it's like stimulated, and it's crazy. Like he goes, it's interesting because you see like the lobster like live and back up again because it's like it's apparently. I don't know if Big Lobster is gonna like me saying this, but yeah, like they're not super happy in the situation that they're at the grocery store.
You mean they're a little scared that they're about to die?
Yeah, maybe something like that, or like what the fuck's going on?
Living in a vat of their own poop.
Yeah, with a bunch of. I don't know. Are lobsters a solitary animal or are they social animal?
Pretty solitary,
I
I
heard
think.
they mate for life.
I went lobster fishing in Nova Scotia, and it was like we went to PEI. Sorry, it's not Nova Scotia. We went to PEI, and we get on this lobster boat at like 4 a.m. And so these guys, that's what they do for their life. It's like one big season. They get paid out, and then they live off that for the rest of the year. And like it's 4 a.m. where I can barely keep my eyes open, and the sun just comes over the horizon, and I watch this guy take a lobster out of the trap. And he takes a beer and he slams it on the claw and he shotguns the beer from the lobster at 5 a.m. or whatever the sun is just coming up. I was like, how is this is a way of life for these people.
Yeah. Yeah. How long is the lobster season?
It's like a spring or fall. Like it's only
Like a couple months.
Yeah, a month at most kind of thing.
Is deadliest catch, is that lobster or crab?
Crab. I think that's
Crab.
That's Alaskan crab, right?
yeah, Alaskan. Yeah. So
One of the harder jobs.
Yeah.
yeah.
I go like cuz we're big scuba divers in my family. So we go like in Florida all the time. And they've got a lobster season there, and you can go underwater with like a little lobster snare and like pull it and like catch lobsters.
Oh,
Dude, you'd be shocked how fast they are.
Oh,
You'd think like a lobster.
underwater.
Yeah, underwater. You'd think like they'd be like these slow animals with pincers, but they're not. Like you.
They're just like motoring around the bottom
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
ocean floor.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What is what's the contraption that you use? A lobster?
It's like a big loop.
Oh, okay.
And then
It's
like you like
like
pull on
cinches
it.
it? It's like-
it's like a cinch. Yeah.
yeah, like the pound guy grabbing the dog.
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah, it's one
Okay.
of those things. Yeah, it's one of those. So
Okay,
you put it around their tail and you tighten it, and then
that's cool.
yeah.
That's crazy. How big are the lobsters there? How big is the biggest lobster you've caught? What's the biggest lobster you've seen? I feel like Brian's seen more lobsters than you have.
Oh, for sure. For sure he has.
I
Yeah.
feel like a lobster research gig. Like
Yeah.
you see a lot of
Yeah.
lobster.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel I've never had lobster.
What?
I'm dead serious.
That's
Let's go for a
crazy.
lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll go to like Nova Scotia. There's always these farms, and then they take them and then they put them in these synthetic pools. And so you go to those pools and you can buy them from them, and that's like skipping the middleman, kind of buying the lobster. And those ones are massive. So I'm used to seeing these lobsters, size of my forearms and stuff, like really big monsters. And then you come to Calgary and they're like little itty bitty, like they're almost like
Tiny.
crayfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get you some crayfish
I'm
after.
excited.
Yeah.
I think the closest I've come to having lobster was when we were on Edgewater, and we had to kill our own crab.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn a boy to a man with that one.
Yeah,
Your time has come.
There was just the sharp edge on the table where kind
Yeah,
of the
bingo.
lip came up, and you'd grab the crab,
tails.
and you
There's
just
by the
slam it on the
legs,
ledge, and
yeah.
it'd break in half.
Yeah.
It would hurt though, because if you missed, you like bang your hand on the.
Yeah.
Or get
on the
scratched by
table.
the crab shell or something.
Well, I missed, and I didn't hit the lobster's
Same here.
brain. I just took all the legs off the poor guy.
Oh, the crabs. yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a fly without wings.
Yeah. It was,
A walk.
I didn't hit it hard enough, so it just went like halfway through, and then I had to like push it down.
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
yeah. yeah.
I can't remember who it is, but they're like, ooh, I kind of like mine. He's kind of cute. I'm like, well, don't get attached for too long.
I remember we all ate it, and they served
Yeah.
it to us in this big salad bowl, and it was just
Yeah.
like shredded crab meat, and everyone who ate it got the shits and was just miserable for the rest of the trip. And then we had rough waves coming in, so it was coming out of both ends.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember on the way back, I was fine the entire trip. Then we go to Boston Pizza. I had like one bite of pizza, and I was like, go to the bathroom, and then I was just done for the rest of the way
For
home.
those for the listeners who don't know what the Edgewater is, this was in the high school that we all went to. They had a field trip. I think it was grade 9 that you would go on, and it was like an old fishing boat turned into like kind of like this education program, or and so you'd go out to Vancouver. I think we would either drive or fly or something. I think we flew.
We flew.
Yeah, and then you'd fly, and then you'd spend, I don't know, a week or
About that.
6 days.
yeah, out on this boat, just kind of trawling around.
It was an old bomb, like deactivator boat.
It was like a Navy.
Yeah.
Navy
Yeah,
boat.
yeah. So really cool experience.
And then did you hear what happened to the captain?
No.
No.
I was hoping we were gonna touch
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. I'll let you take it off.
No.
Yeah.
You go. You
What
brought it up.
I
Yeah.
know that the what happened. The scene. I'll paint the scene.
It's controversial.
Yeah, it's
We don't really know.
So the boat's docked, and then it's one morning, and he's got his Ford or F-150 with the door open, and he's gone. Like there's a car there, and there's a boat there, and there's just no body to be found.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. So
Aliens.
the guy's missing. Missing, presumed
Yeah.
dead. But the Edgewater can't run because they can't sell it to anybody until they have until they have a body. They have confirmation that he's dead. And so it's literally just sitting in a dock because the guy is just missing. They have
Wow.
no idea what happened to him. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I fell into the river or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
uh,
So
This
the
is where
ocean.
it started. We're
The
gonna
ocean is
solve the
scary,
case.
man. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying this could be the podcast where, we start ignite the flame and
Yeah.
solve the case.
Yeah, if anyone knows them, if anyone out there, any listeners know the mystery of the Edgewater, please let us know down in the comments. We'd like to get this solved so we can get kids back out there learning how to kill crabs in probably an incorrect and questionably humane way.
I remember before we actually went on the trip, the day before, I was playing BB guns with my brother, and to go back to that, and he banked a BB off a window into my eye, and it hurt a lot. But this is like the day before Edgewater, so the night, I'm like, all right, I put ice on it, like I'm trying to sleep, and it just sucked. And then the morning of Edgewater, we all have to wake up at like 5 in the morning to get to school. And I could literally see out of one eye for like half the trip. And everyone's like, do you have pink eye? And I'm like, no. I got shot in the eye with a BB
Did
gun.
you get medical attention to that eye? Because
did you go to the doctor?
Well, it like banked off the window, and
It's called
like,
time, man. It heals all wounds.
I did not, but I think I can see pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should have rocked an eye patch for the trip.
that would have been a play.
Next time.
I recently went to the emerge room for an eye injury. I was out in the backyard.
You get pink eye?
No, with my girlfriend, and she had the hose, just a garden hose, and she had it locked on the jet setting. And then I snuck up on her, just having fun, and she turned and she blasted it right in my eyeball in the jet setting, and it went in underneath my eye and like around too, and like just I could feel my eye get pressed, and so whatever, it didn't hurt too much, and then I'm standing beside a White House, and I just see like this big black dot like start swooping at me. So I like tried to dodge it, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I have a blind spot that just developed in my eye," and
That's scary.
yeah, it was terrifying. So ran to the hospital, and turns out I had like retinal bleeding, and thank God it didn't tear, but I had like blood in my eye from it. Yeah,
Crazy.
so it was a little spooky, but
Glad you're okay.
yeah, still going to see the specialist about it.
Yeah.
Good old tax dollars going to good use.
Maybe he could be our new eye patch guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially after my laser eye surgery stories too, because I had laser eye surgery once, right?
Yep.
And so they put you under the laser, and they cut they press your eye down, and your eye blacks out, and then they take the flap, and then everything kind of goes like a kaleidoscope once the flap's open, and your eye's black for the first surgery.
Yep.
And then they laser it. It smells a little stinky. It wasn't too bad. And then the next time, because my eyes didn't heal properly, they got foggy, and that was super scary in itself. But I got the next surgery, and I had to watch the doctor cut my eye open with a scalpel and a spatula, and I got to watch him flip open the layer in front of my eye, and I had to sit there, and all he would say is, don't move your eyes, don't move your eyes. And I'm like, well, it's kind of hard when you pick a point in the room and then he pokes your eye with a knife. It bends the vision, so then the point you're looking at moves, and you're like, what am I looking at now in your head? Anyway, your anxiety's ripping.
through the roof.
And thank God, I was sitting there in the waiting room, and they're like, do you want some extra stress medication? And I was like, yes, give me as much as I can. And thank God I did, because like the nurse was like petting my arm and stuff, and I'm like clawing through the chair. There's like scratch marks in it, and the doctor's like, chill out, man. How do you manage that though, right?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I took a BB to the eye once.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was like an airsoft.
Yeah.
Like I was just walking in the neighborhood, and like the kids were fighting with their airsoft guns, and I got shot in the back of the arm, and I was like, didn't hurt that much. And then the kid got offended, and he was like, oh yeah, it doesn't hurt. And I was like, what? And I turned around, and he just like shot me just right there.
Like
And
point blank.
he was like 10 feet away. And then it like hit my eye, and it like hit the white of my eye. But yeah, my mom took me to the doctor for that one, and I ended up being on bed rest for like 3 days. I had to be like, my eye was bleeding, so I had to be like at an angle, let the blood drain out of my eye.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I know my cousin got shot in the lip, and it was
Which one?
my cousin Wade.
Oh, okay.
So he's
I was thinking Zach probably deserved it.
yeah. Yeah, so I might be butchering the story or misremember it, but the way I remember it, the way he told it was he got shot in the lip, and this was in university, and it was stuck. It got like stuck, lodged in his lip for like a couple years, and then one day it popped out.
Oh, gross.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so
That's-
I'm probably butchering that story. That probably didn't even happen. That's how I remember.
One
it.
time I was in front of the class, and I was running for like an elected science student representative. So I was like, hey, prof, can I stand in front of your class of like 200 people and make a speech? And, I was kind of nervous. So I was playing
Someone
with
shot you with a beat.
well, I was playing with my mechanical pencil, and then I stuck it in my pocket. And so I'm giving the speech, and I stick my hands into my pocket, and the lead from it was extended like a couple like centimeters out, and it went at the top of my nail into the cuticle and into my finger. And so I'm like giving a speech to 200 people and put my hand in my pocket and just get this sharp pain and like just suck it up, bite the lip and
You gotta let the people know this is for the people.
He's got his mic up to his face. It's just like.
And then, so, ouch, that hurt, right? And I was playing with it. Nothing came out. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I was like, why is this thing still so swollen? And I gave it a push, and this lead, I'm no joke, actually shot out of my finger. I was like, that is disgusting. I was carrying that thing around for, like, a week.
Yeah, I know I had like I felt that the only thing for me that happened was like a little rock. I fell off of my bike when I was, I don't know, young. And then it was in my hand for a good while. Yeah. And then eventually it
I think I
popped
actually
out.
have.
You still got something hanging around with you?
Yeah, I got a piece of like graphite.
Nice. That's like a
pencil.
It's a good tattoo. Yeah, it's like a little memento. Bring everywhere with you.
I think we were playing tag in like high school. A buddy of mine, we had like a year-long game of tag each year. And on the last day, he got me with a pencil, and it hurt so bad, and I was so mad, but he got away.
Like, you stab each other with a pencil? That's a game of tag?
Yeah. Well, not like, usually it's like the eraser side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he goofed it on the last day. But, I mean, we'd go with the eraser and like, come on,
You hurt each other. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you're just out here impaling each other with pencils. You're like, you're it.
It was kind of like a Charlie horse, but like a sharp one with the
Yeah.
eraser end of a pencil.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like probably like the exploding things kind of thing. Like I remember games like that where you'd hit people in the balls or something like that, or like this one. That game was big where and then it just becomes like it's like not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just like haha. I don't know. I never thought it was fun, but it was like, all right, I guess this is what we're playing.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Like, oh, you looked, and then it's like someone like punches you as hard as you can. It's like, fuck, this sucks. Like, why are we playing this game? I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, there's just something about being a boy, hey, and just wanting to when you're a kid, you just are like, let's blow things up and punch each other.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
This is somewhat unrelated, but I was thinking back to old basketball stuff. I really wish I didn't really gamble that much in high school. I do online sports betting now. But that made me think of like back in the day in high school, we should try to bet against the other team. Like, hey, you guys want to put $20 down?
Oh, like bet on high school basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I bet there's some guy out there trying to lobby for that to be allowed. And it probably happens already.
I bet in the States.
There's
for sure,
probably I don't know because this is a hot take. Okay, so pandemic's going on. Okay, the Score, it was a publicly traded company. Okay, the Score, like we all know the Score, right? Has like it's like kind of like ESPN's little brother kind of thing.
Yep. I think it's a division of Sportsnet.
Okay, so there's I don't know what got me on it, but okay, pandemic, everyone's freaking out of pandemic, whatever, everything. Okay, going through the House of Commons is a bill, right, to just open up gambling. Okay, so we go. So I was following the Score because I like to do that. It's kind of like my little pastime is like kind of like following stuff like either Canadian companies or other companies like on Yahoo, like finance or whatever, like through the stock tickers or whatever. So I look, the Score's there, okay, and then they have like this comment sections, and then the comment sections, ever since you guys are familiar with like Wall Street Bets, yeah, and kind of the game stuff. Ever since that, like comment sections like on Yahoo Finance have been like, they're hilarious, right? So it's like pretty degenerate, but then there's like some like really good stuff in there as well too. And so this is where so I'm like going through the comment section. It tells me about the Score, and they say like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, this will pop off like when this bill goes through. Okay, so this bill goes through, the Score goes from like $6 to like $34, like within a matter of like 6 months kind of thing. I never bought it. So it's like, oh, fuck. But it was crazy. And then I don't know if you guys notice, like when you're watching sports, I don't know, do you guys watch like any sports or follow anything? Like any?
Well, I'm a diehard Flames fan, as you know.
But something I think you'll notice is something I've noticed is the absolute rampant amount of sports betting ads.
Oh, dude.
It is insane.
Yeah.
And like that's what I brought up gambling a little bit. But I'm just like, man, it's like, yeah, sure, like gambling's fun, but it's just like there's like so much sports betting stuff out there. It is insane. It's like, yeah, like I don't know. Do you need to be betting on literally everything? Like,
let's see, on Sportsnet,
I don't think that's healthy.
They have all the rights to all the NHL games. So whenever you're on that channel, there are Bet365 commercials, FanDuel, MGM.
What's the Lion one? Is that the MG one?
That's MGM. DraftKings, did I already say that?
Yeah.
And there's like maybe 2 more.
Yeah.
But they all have ads, and it's like there'll be like a TV timeout and it'll just be gambling ads.
Yeah.
Okay, now I guess
so that was one of like these things, and this House of Commons things. It's just like basically opened it up like for like advertising and then actual like sports betting apps. Like that was like the big thing, was just like get the people gambling. Get the people gambling. I don't know. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I do like the idea though of like a sports betting app, but for like high school kids.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I mean, not literally, but like just for like alpha dads to go and you know, argue about whose son is better. They can just like throw $20 on it. And
got $300 on a Wednesday game.
That'd be pretty good. And you know how like, so for basically any like stock trading platform, they have like, trade like fake money so you can like understand the system, and then it's like, okay, if you're under 18, just bet with play money, man. Like I think that'd be I don't know, that interesting. Yeah, I don't know what the legality of high school sports betting is. I'm sure somewhere it's allowed.
Do they pay NCAA players now?
Yeah. No,
like
I don't
collegiate
think so.
players.
no.
I'm pretty sure football they get some sort of compensation now. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
I mean, they're robbing the kids blind.
Yeah.
For the money that they bring in, but
maybe just pay for their school even, if nothing else, you know.
Well, they do that, but I
get
think
their scholarships.
I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm sure each deal depends on the person, but I think it's, for the most part, a lot of them get their school paid for. But it's like, even if your school's paid for, like
It's
kind of like the amount of sacrifice that it's like, sure, you get an education theoretically, but then like, is that fair compensation? Like you're still bringing in
Yeah, and
theoretically a
how
lot
much
more.
of an education are you getting when you are 100% football, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, and the NCAA, because it brings in so much attention, especially like March Madness.
which
you
is
know?
on like
Those coaches
tomorrow,
are
like,
making millions, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Nick Saban is so like in terms of
football
like,
coach for Alabama.
I think for public, like, cause a lot of universities, well, in Canada, but in the States too, like there's they're public institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Nick Saban is the top paid, like publicly paid, top paid person in a public institution in the United States of America.
Hmm.
And I think he's like rakes in like, I don't know,
A
a lot of money, like his salary is like $500,000 or something like that.
More than the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
I saw that. It's okay. So I don't know. Do you guys follow like financial news or whatever going on? Yeah. So like the Jerome Powell, he's like the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So like this guy makes like crazy important decisions in terms of like the banking and finance world, and he gets paid $200,000 a year. And then someone asked it, oh, do you think you get paid like a commensurate amount of money like for the job that you do? He's like, yeah, I think so. And it's like, well, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I guess like it depends on who you ask, like what is fair compensation kind of thing. I think
of course he'd say yes, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just like, yeah, man. It's like this guy's like making like literally it's like everyone, I don't know, there's like people who like are managing like literally trillions of dollars based on, and then making decisions on that based on what this guy's saying. It's like, oh yeah, $200K.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
No, I was just thinking about the a little out of left field, but the FTX stuff.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
just been following that lately.
Yeah. Speaking of gambling, you guys into crypto at all?
I was getting into it, but I was always skeptical that it was a bit of a bubble. But I don't know. I still have hope for it.
Yeah. Brian, you ever get any
No,
crypto?
not too much. Yeah. I got student loans. That's where my money goes.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, do they take they don't take Bitcoin yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they would make it like completely accessible to the entire world.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like fiat, like having like, notes.
Yeah.
Like, will that ever go away? I don't think so.
I don't know.
But I also don't know.
Yeah, I think there's like use cases for it. Like if your government's like shady
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna print a shit ton of money and make it like not very valuable anymore. It's like that's a use case for, I think, Bitcoin. I don't know. My favorite was I think Garlic Coin. That was a big one. But
Like Dogecoin.
yeah, I like the meme coin.
The pump and dump ones.
Yeah. Or
GameStop.
Dink Doink.
Yeah.
That was yeah. It's kind
No, I think that it's really cool, and in theory, it's a great alternative to money because it's decentralized. It holds its value. The only problem is people have to just trust it and believe in it.
Yeah,
and
that's money in general.
that's money
Yeah.
in general. But yeah, the minute people lost trust in it, like it just tanked,
Yeah.
and that's
There was a guy that was able to steal or hack $200 million worth of Bitcoin out of, I don't know, some poor guy.
Yeah. Okay, question. If you guys had $200 million like right now today, like no restrictions on it at all, what would you do with it?
I'd buy 200 Bugattis.
Nice.
No, I wouldn't.
That's a good question. You know that hill? Is it you know that hill that overlooks the city right by the Safeway on Elbow Drive?
Yeah.
I'd buy that house.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The cool one.
I
Got
think
like
I'd-
stags and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bears and stuff.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, this guy was in a big land dispute with the city, and he ended up winning. So he got probably the best view of the entire city and built a mansion on top of the hill.
Yeah.
But he's also like 88 years old.
Yeah.
I don't really know what he's up to.
So it's coming on the market soon.
Nice. What's the thing that you did? The thing.
Oh, the Happy Pad. Yeah.
Happy Pad.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a bunch of bedrooms he could rent out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'll squat up.
Yeah.
Hey, podcast on the move.
Yeah.
Podcast, but in a house.
Yeah. Works for me.
Yeah. Brian.
I'd probably buy $200 million worth of Dogecoin.
Nice.
Really get
This
that
man's
investment.
thinking.
Yeah. No, I'll probably run away. Go right to the airport, buy the first flight out of Calgary, see where it takes me.
Okay. So where would you go?
The first flight out of Calgary.
First flight.
Somewhere south. Maybe north.
Somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go catch a big fish.
If you guys could go anywhere right now, where would you want to go?
The moon.
Good answer.
Yeah.
A little cold. Cold for me. I want to go to Europe really bad. I haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is it easy to get around Europe in a wheelchair?
Not really. It's nice that, they have the train system. So
Yeah.
you can get around everywhere pretty quick. But in terms of, if you think about, the sidewalks.
I was going to say
it's
cobblestone.
all,
Yeah.
Cobblestone.
ancient. So it's all,
You got to soup this bad boy up a little bit. I think a better shock system.
I need the tank chair.
The tank chair.
There's, a off-road power chair. And it runs on, tank tracks. Well, not actual tank tracks, but that sort of
Yeah, system.
tracks, yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Send you into Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. But just a couple of, AK-47s on the side of a button. I'm just like,
Just a metal shield all around you as well.
Yeah.
Juggernaut style.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, question. So, along that same line, would you take anyone with you? So, if you're okay, so you're buying, so you're leaving you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
You're going to Europe.
Are you both, you're both in relationships, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably Emily, I would take you.
Riley, I don't know about you.
But I wouldn't give you any of my Bugattis.
Yeah. You get 0 Bugattis, but I guess we can go to Mexico.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you mentioned that you're you come from a family of scuba divers.
Yeah.
Are you a open? You have your full license for scuba diving. What is it? The open water license kind of thing.
Yeah. So I've got.
Hey Brian, how's it going?
So I've got open water. I've got advanced open water, and then I've got my master. So it's to get open water, I think you have to do 5 confined dives, and then 5 open water dives. And then advanced, you have to get 2 specialties on top, and then master, you have to get 5 specialties and 50 dives. So I just recently, coming back from Turks, got my master diver. And yeah, we love doing it. We go all around the world and scuba dive, and kind of anywhere we can, we try and do it.
What is the craziest sea life that you've seen down there?
That's a good question. So when we were in, I'd say Cozumel was probably the best reef we've ever seen. The Great Barrier Reef was awesome, but there's a lot of people there. It was busy. I can see why it's dying. It was pretty poorly taken care of.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cozumel, man, it was beautiful. It was so vibrant. And yeah, we're just diving, and there's caves, and I think
That's
craziest,
really cool.
Yeah, the craziest thing we ever saw was probably on one of our first dives ever. We swam down, so it's kind of funny because we went to this place called the Nursery, and it's the nursery because it's where a lot of reef sharks will have their baby reef sharks. And so we go down, and there's all these reef sharks, and they're like, yeah, reef sharks they're pretty nice, blah blah blah. So we're like, oh sweet, reef sharks, they're pretty nice. So we're going down. I mean, we're not touching them or playing with them or anything. We're not really taunting them either, but
Getting close.
We're getting close. We're getting in their way. And then we come up to the surface, and we're like, did you see how close we were? Blah blah blah. And the guy's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. They will bite you. They're not nice. They're still sharks. But yeah.
That's
They're
pretty
like,
wild.
you said they were pretty nice.
yeah.
Pretty nice, not
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, they're nice compared to a great white.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah. So when was your first like dive?
I think grade 10. I think I was 16.
Cool.
Would you ever do caves?
I've done overhead. So I've done like wrecks. So I've got stuff over my head. But
Is that
caves.
like spelunking?
No, so it would be like a sunken ship or a sunken plane.
Okay.
Like you go down and then if you got something over your head, you need certification for that. Yeah. Right. Caves though that's another animal, man.
Yeah.
Caves are I can't even look at caves, dude.
Did you guys hear about that movie 13 Lives?
Yeah, dude.
That's like, so back in I can't remember what year it was, but these 12 Thai soccer players and their coach, they got trapped in this cave that was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 kilometers deep or far into the mountain, and it was during the rainy season, and it started to flood. So
remember
these kids and their coach, they all get trapped in this cave system, and there's so much water coming in so fast that they get pushed to almost the very back, and they wait for, I think it was like 4 or 5 full days until the divers actually got into the cave, and that's not even the worst part. Then they had to figure out how to get them out, which is like a whole other ball game. So, but it was on the news like every day for like however long it lasted. I think it was like a month and a bit, or maybe a few weeks. But incredible how, and I won't ruin it for everyone,
Yeah.
but yeah, crazy.
Yeah, no spoilers, but yeah, how they got the kids out is insane.
Yeah,
Insane. Because the Thai Navy was like the
Navy SEAL.
professional SEAL divers were dying going in there, so they had to actually outsource to worldwide pro divers.
Yeah.
And there was only like 4 guys in the world that could do it. So
Yep.
now you can imagine getting kids out. How do you like they can't even get in?
the uninitiated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was craziest rescue story I've heard in a long time.
That's wild. I don't even when stuff like like when you're scrolling or like YouTube videos come up and it's like I skip that shit right away. Like any sense of like tension, like he may or may not make it. Oh something went wrong. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I'm not watching that shit. Like that freaks, like that's like my worst nightmare.
Have you
to be
seen
in that situation?
Yeah, have you seen those like videos of guys spelunking and stuff? Like it's a big thing on TikTok
It's
now, dude, and I
crazy.
can't even watch that stuff. It's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
Claustrophobic and
Yeah.
yeah.
that's like my worst nightmare. Is that situation?
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy the free climbing, like a free solo documentary.
Alex Harold, what's his last name?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But how he climbs that face of that mountain. It's just a cliff.
Yeah.
It's straight up cliff.
Half that documentary though is just showing you how crazy this guy actually is though. Yeah.
He is crazy.
He's nuts.
His girlfriend was like, what if something happens to you? And I'm like, left alone. He's like, well,
Say la vie.
like at least I was doing what I loved.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
your girlfriend's right there too.
Yeah. Doing what I love, and it wasn't you.
Yeah. No filter on the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty great. But that's like, there's no claustrophobia with that. It's like you fall, okay, you die. I'm fine with that.
I
And
don't
the
know. I'd
claustrophobia
rather-
thing, it's like, okay, I like at least there you get a flail and scream. Like there it's like
There's
nah,
an
man.
end, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're drowning and you're like you can't move and
I think,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. If you're falling versus drowning, I think I'd rather pass out via drowning than like
Yeah, I
Depends.
think both would suck. But
Yeah.
yeah, true.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I tried. First of all, I tried not to put myself in either one of those positions. Number 2, like if you had to choose, I think, I don't know, because drowning is not. I think
It's
there's
like-
it's like I think that was like a MythBuster thing. It's like not a peaceful thing.
No.
It's like you're gasping for air. You're like trying to, and then
It's like, what would you rather be stuck with? A tiger in a cage or in a pool with a shark? It's like,
Neither.
I don't know.
When will I find myself in those positions?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's like I always thought that quicksand was going to be a bigger deal in my life.
Yep.
Like always growing up, I'd be like, I gotta watch out for this quicksand. Okay, yeah, no, it's like taxes and budgeting. Nah, man, like I'm ready for quicksand. Oh fuck all this. Yeah. What do you mean I can't spend all my money on this? Oh fuck.
I watched so much videos preparing to not die in quicksand when I became an adult that I forgot to do taxes.
Yeah, like honest mistake. But yeah, I get in a situation with quicksand. I know what to do. Don't move. Wait for help. Yeah. I'm kind of bummed about that. Like I was ready for it, where I have been ready. I've been training all my life, yet to be stuck in quicksand.
Was it the Jungle Book where everyone was sinking in? What was that movie where they had like quicksand and
remember there was
people were fully sinking into it?
I'm pretty sure I watched that one.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of media on quicksand.
you're like, yeah, I took notes.
Yeah. No, I think there was an Indiana Jones, and there was one, I think maybe like Lawrence of Arabia, or there was an animated thing about they were like in a race through the desert or something like that, and there was also quicksand in that.
Ooh, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I can't remember. But yeah, I always think about that whenever I'm kind of faced with, all right, how am I going to like get up?
When you're old and senile, just put this guy in some quicksand.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how he wants to go.
Yeah.
I was this is more or less off topic, but it's more of an ethical dilemma. And I was watching the show The Last of Us, which just wrapped up, which they filmed here in Calgary, Alberta, and
Shout out Calgary.
parts of Edmonton and Banff and Canmore. Anyways, the guy I won't spoil it, but he's faced with a real ethical problem. And I think if I was caught in a situation where it's like, okay, I think like when it's, what was it, man versus wild, man versus self, and like man versus
Man.
I think I'd rather do the man versus man, or like man versus nature, because like that, like being put in a position where you actually have to make a decision that affects other people. I don't know. Crazy show though.
I was going to MRU, and they were filming on the campus, and I remember walking through and seeing all the, they made everything dirty, and they had some stuff floating around. So I pulled my phone out and took a picture for Snapchat, and then I sent it, and the guy comes up to me, he's like, "You need to delete that." And I was like, sorry, it's on Snapchat. It's already gone. And on my walk in, there's no signs or anything. It's like a free campus. I'm on my way to class. And he's like, "All right, well, don't fucking do that next time." And I was like, "Excuse me, man. It's like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to class. What do you want from me?"
Who was
this guy's just lipping me off.
Just like some.
Yeah, just some guy,
assistant.
security,
Yeah.
who's on set. Yeah.
Did you lip him off after?
Oh, you bet I did. I'll censor that part though. But man, I let him know that like I was not in the wrong. Yeah.
I don't know if it's me getting older or more bitter, but like I've been getting into it with people lately. Like this guy at the Flames game the other day, he like drunken buffoon at at the Leafs game comes up to me and he like starts putting his arm on me. It's like, and I'm wearing like my favorite jersey, and he's like, "That jersey sucks." And I'm like,
Thanks, didn't ask.
and I'm there with two people I know, and we're having a conversation. And he's like just drunkenly just all over me. And I look at him, and I'm like, "Can you please fuck off?" And he kind of looked at me. He was like, "Okay." And it's just like, I don't know.
This was in your seats?
This is right by my seats.
This
at
guy's
the
just in
Flames
your
game.
personal space. Yeah, I tell
Like,
him to fuck
right
off,
here.
too. Yeah.
And he smelled bad. And I was just like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, personal space is key. Yeah.
I do like some of the things that people say to you out of context is just so funny. They'll be like, I like your phone stand, and you'll be like, cool. Can I get a beer, please? Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm here to order popcorn. Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, you sure got your thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's like nice backpack.
yeah,
like,
people are just deer in headlights.
yeah, I'm like, fuck off. Give me a drink.
Yeah.
I like kids the most. They're like look like talking to their buddy. Oh, you see this? They're like, what's he doing? Like, hey, how's it going, little guy? And then they run off, and they're all too shy.
Cute.
Yeah.
Can't say I wouldn't do the same. At
The stickers are the key, though. They make it much more approachable for
Rippin'.
kids.
Yeah,
They're like SpongeBob, and I'm like SpongeBob, and they're like nice.
simple.
Yeah.
I vibe with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the proper protocol?
Like if you're approaching me or something.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I think when I tend to find when people are like honest and like, you know, make an effort to make me feel comfortable, if that makes sense. They're like, hey, like approach me in like a nice, decent way, then we're fine. And I think that's fine. But it's when people like I had a guy probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and he was like, how do you get crippled like that? And he was like from the South. I was like, whoa. But like at the same time, I was like, you know what? This guy probably undereducated. Like you can kind of tell that like he sounds like he's not, I don't know. Like he was from like the South.
Yeah,
You can hear it.
desensitized to that word too.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I was like, you know, man, it's a long story. I'd rather not tell you. And that was kind of the end of that. But
That's a very appropriate response.
yeah. Well, for the most part, people are dope, and they're like, "Yeah, you're ripping around in that thing," and I'm like, "Yeah." I got my Ferrari sticker back there and everything, but people are good for the most part.
Yeah. Nice. When did you guys first meet? When was your first memory of each other? Mason, you go first. What's your first memory of Bryan?
Grade 4, I think. I started at CA grade 3, and then I remember like the new kids coming in grade 4, and Bryan just being one of the new kids.
New meat.
Yeah, new meat, fresh meat, and you had like these big glasses
Oh,
on.
yeah.
yeah.
Bottle
And-
caps or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were, because you were in Malcolm, like hit it off right away too.
Yeah.
So like I just remember him and Malcolm like buddied up, and they were both super goofy dudes, and yeah, friends ever since, pretty much.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Bryan, what about you? What was your first time?
Yeah, Mason and I, we clicked really well in like late junior high school kind of thing. So it was kind of like a later relationship that developed. But I do remember like going over to Mason's quite a bit at a younger, because we go into a small school, so everyone was friends.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember going to Mason's. He had a pool party, and I remember having a ton of fun there. And like, you know, you'd invite the girls and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to hold Bianca's hand today," kind of thing. Shout out.
Oh my god.
And then I remember I was holding your snake, and I'm like still like traumatized to it today. I thought it was so cool. I get to hold this like gardener snake that's only like a couple inches long, and the thing shit all over me. Like all over me. And I remember being at this like party where you're like young and you're trying to impress everyone, and I'm just covered in snake shit and like nothing to do with myself.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I think you threw some of the best parties I've ever been to.
In high school or just
Well, yeah, high school and like maybe a bit after, but yeah.
yeah, back at 41 Aspen.
Yeah.
Yeah, your high school parties were renowned.
We one time had a Halloween party, and then 2 blocks over there's another party. That one shut down, and so everyone from it came to mine. And then my dad at the door was like, "No, you can't come in. I don't know who the hell you are. You can't come into my house." Larry would like supervise and make sure we weren't getting into trouble. So he kept all these people out, and like Larry went back and he like bolted the fence shut, like actually like zombie apocalypse style, you know, like 2x4s making sure this fence was shut. And then people would still climb over, and Alex and I, we're big dudes, that we would kick them out right away. Anyway, the neighbors, they were crazy. And they were like, "Oh my God, these people are just like, they're having a block party." Like they called the cops, and they're like, "You need to come now. Like these people are like anarchy. Like please come."
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, there's there's my party going on, and then there's a party on the street because of a party that shut down before. That party, you know, people went away. and it kind of cleared out. But when the cops showed up, there's no one on the street, but there's like paddy wagons, and they even had like the Hawk helicopter above my like house. Like, I mean, feet above my house with the big spotlight, making sure that there's like no drunk drivers
That's
or people
sick.
like, yeah. So like they literally called
I think that's
the like the SWAT team on like my house at one point. So that was kind of crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
I remember dealing with some cops and paramedics at a party we had at our place once. And that was just a whole scene. I mean, like, and usually I think they're pretty decent for the most part, you know, when they have to come, like, shut a party down or, you know, people are getting a little out of hand. But this time was fine. It was actually the mom of this girl who drank, like, a bottle of vodka. So she was just done, like, on the lawn.
This is the mom?
No, this is the daughter. And then the mom comes, like, barreling down the road, like, parks in the middle of the street. She's frantic, freaking out. Like, fair enough, her daughter's pretty drunk. But I was pretty tipsy at that point, too. And she was not happy with, like, anyone that was there. The paramedics, me, and whoever else was outside. And she ends up taking her phone out, like, trying to take a picture of all of us. And I'm like, I don't know what that's going to do. Like, but, you know, it all ended up being fine. She ended up just getting driven home by her mom. But
Yeah.
it was, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I remember paramedics got brought into my house once too during a party. And this girl, she was sitting there and she's like, oh, my tongue's swelling up and I'm afraid I can't breathe kind of thing. She was totally fine.
Yep.
Drunk and wanting some attention. Anyway, I mean, to be fair, like she was worried, so she called the paramedics. But next to her was Malcolm, passed out. Like, so he just has a thing where he falls, like he fell asleep during the Metallica concert. I remember that. So like this guy's out cold and this girl's like hysterically crying and screaming because she's worried. And the paramedics aren't like, they did their checks on her and she was fine. And then they're just more worried about Malcolm, who's sleeping next to this screaming being.
I remember that so well.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah.
I was there for that one. Okay, so your first memory of Bryan was two goofy new meat guys. Your first memory of Mason was elementary, but really like when you guys became friends was later.
Yeah.
Later on. What was what was your first memory of Erik and I? Mason, you go first. Yeah, when did you first were like, okay, that's Erik. Okay, that's Raiden.
Yeah. I think so. Erik and I, we had a split 3-4 class. I remember. And we had art.
With Miss Kelly Gibson?
No.
Great teacher, by the way.
Not Miss Kelly Gibson.
Shut up.
In grade 3-4.
Maybe.
I think it would have been.
Okay,
because
maybe,
she was there for, when I got there in grade 3, I had her for 2 years. And then in grade 5, I had someone else.
Right. Okay, yeah. No, I just remember having like a split 3-4 class, and then we had art class together,
Yep.
and then we both had yellow construction paper, and we thought like you were like yellow as bling, so we became bling buddies.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was
That is a good... Dude, that sparked a memory. That is so freaking funny.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What year would that have been?
I was like grade 3, I think.
Grade 4 for me.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm not good at mental math,
No,
obviously.
ages ago.
Mid early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are you guys' first memories of Raiden here?
I got a good one. So Raiden was always, Malcolm was my best friend growing up, and he was like my brother.
He was always he was always Malcolm's older brother. Still am.
Exactly.
Always has been.
You're always like the kind of cooler brother. Like I remember you'd say something like, I'd walk in the room first time we met, we were younger, and I'm like, oh, you're Raiden. You're like, yeah, that's my name. Don't wear it out. And I was like, oh man, this guy is cool.
Yeah, I was practicing that one actually in the mirror. Yeah.
But one of my actually memories that like first time I remember, or something that I can remember from a younger age, is we were getting off the bus and we're just walking up because you had a long driveway, and you're like, oh, Bryan, do you want me to tell you what popping a cherry is? And you're like, no, Malcolm, you can't listen. You're too young. He's like fucking like 6 months younger than me. And you're like, I remember you whispering in my ear, just being like, what even is this?
Yeah, man, that was all the rage back then. Learning stuff you weren't supposed to know.
That's funny.
Yeah. My first memory of Bryan was could have been the same bus ride, but was like, oh yeah, Malcolm's like, oh yeah, this is my friend Bryan. He's coming on, and it could have been different. So I remember like seeing you, the bottle Coke, or what do they call that bottle? Yeah, glasses, everything. Yeah. And I remember, I don't think it was the same trip, but like tied with that memory for me is, and it might not even been you who did this, but there was it was a contentious relationship with our bus driver and like all of the kids on the bus. And it was like, cause man, what a challenging job that's gotta be. Like, okay, drive from A to B without killing anyone, try and follow these like laws of the road, but then there's like an infinite amount of distractions behind you, like which you're not even faced. Like, it's like you hear it and there's like just shit going on back here, and it's like, like none of this should be happening. Like, please just be quiet and do nothing. And I remember there was one where, so I don't know if you were part of this, but it's like paper airplanes. That was big. Like, so it's like, we learned how to, or like someone learned how to make a paper airplane. It was showing other people how to do it. And so it's like, then the goal was to, I can't remember I'm going to have to look up like the name of our bus driver. Cause she was like, like at the time, like she was like the villain, but like now it's like, this was a good person.
She was just doing her job.
She was doing her job.
Supervising children.
Yeah. Like, this was a good person. And it was just like make this person's life hell. And so, I remember that. And so like, for some reason, like the memory of you first meeting you is tied with like throwing paper airplanes at our bus driver while like she's like on like
driving on a highway.
And like the way that we kind of lived out of the city bit, and it was like the highway that we're on was objectively dangerous. Like lots of people have died, it's like head on, like
the road of death or something like that.
Yeah, like it's like, there's one that goes from Edmonton to Fort Mac that's like the most dangerous highway, and then the one that we live on is like the second in the province. And then it's like it's objectively dangerous, and then it's like, all right, let's see what we can get away with.
Anarchy.
Yeah, literally. So that's my first memory of you. And then my first memory of Mason is, it was probably in elementary school as well too. I don't think I really got to know you. My first like more recent memory is, I came back from university at some point, and Malcolm picked me up from the, I think you guys would have been in grade 12 or something like that. And he picked me up from the airport, and he's just like, oh yeah, all my friends are going camping. Do you want to come camping with me? And I was like, I didn't really have anything to do. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. Or I don't know if we ended up camping or we were just there for the day or something like that. And it was kind of by Turner Valley kind of thing.
I remember that,
Yeah. I remember just kind of like shooting the shit, and like you were telling me about your life, kind of what you were up to. And I remember, this guy's really chill. But before that, what I remember from early days was were you or your family associated with Screamfest at all?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
It is. Not from my family anymore. It's my uncle now.
Okay.
So it's still my family, but it's like my
family. Not direct family.
Yeah, not direct family.
Okay. Because that's what I remember. Because Screamfest was the shit, man. Yeah. That was like,
at 15, that's what you did.
That was a bump.
It's still what they do at that age.
Yeah, it was like a scene. It's like, oh, you going to Screamfest? Like, who you going to Screamfest with?
Yeah.
It's like,
or there's like a huge group that would go to Screamfest.
Yeah. And so I remember it's like, oh yeah, Mason somehow connected with this, and that's how. Yeah. And did you work there ever, or did you do any? No. Okay.
No, like we'd volunteer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were pretty young to work there. But
yeah. Oh, I guess at that age. Yeah. 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 So that was kind of like my first memory. Then a more recent memory was just shooting the shit, and like because I think there was I don't know if this is the same time or it was a different time, and it was like super cold, and everyone would like sorry, this is not Screamfest. This is going back to the camping trip, and everyone in like your guys' kind of group was like took their shirts off, and it was like super cold. And
Shirts
it was
off Saturday.
yeah, shirts off Saturdays.
Shirts off Saturdays.
Yeah. And I wasn't really happy. I was like, no, I'm not into this.
Everyone's all sunburnt and like wind rashed by the end of it. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That actually started because Gavin, he did rowing, so he had like a swimmer's body, beautiful. And the whole reason for Shirts Off Saturday started was because we just wanted to see this guy without his shirt on.
Adonis. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I did because so Gavin, I think, was a coach for my younger cousin, Milo, and who does like paddling, like kayaking. And I recently did a casino night fundraiser for them. And it was, have you guys ever done a casino night fundraiser before? I'd like seen it in like movies movies or shows or what. And so what I thought it was that like you like rent out like a community hall, and then there's like you've set up, but no, it's like you go to a casino, an actual casino, and then there's like a couple different positions, and like you can either be a cashier, a banker, general manager, or you could go back into like the count room and like you're like, I didn't do that, so I don't really know what they do. I think they count the money, right? So that's makes sense. Yeah. But it was actually it was pretty cool. Granted that like the hours were pretty shitty, like so like you kind of give up a whole night, right? So it's like I think we were 7 till like 4 a.m. in the morning, and it was kind of cool because you go into this it's like if you ever been into a casino before, it's like you're just on the other side of like where you exchange your chips, right? So you're just like in this like room with like a shit ton of cash, and it's like they're all in like these bags, and then like the person, like kind of like there's a casino staff, or I don't think they're like with the AGLC who like oversees everything. And then she's just like hands me this like drawer of $100,000, and she's like, all right, this is your float, like, or like cashier thing. And so I was like, oh, nice, I'm rich. It's like, but you're not allowed to leave the room or do anything.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, we're just like, wow, this is like the most like physical cash I've been like next to ever.
These guys are just giving so much liability away. Like, did you even sign anything? And they're just handing you.
Yeah, I had to sign. Yeah, I had to. They did like a. Yeah, they did like a. There's like a little bit of training.
Yeah.
And she like kind of like when you get there right at first, you kind of like do like a little orientation thing, but then it's like, all right, here's your cash drawer, and then you do your thing, and then like so theoretically. And so also, I think there's a social pressure as well to like not steal, because you're in a room full of people who are fundraising for like a thing that you're all like
charity.
For a good cause. So it's like if you steal anything, it's like you're fucking over everyone in the room,
and
as
you're
well
probably going to
and probably going to jail, like going to hell, and then like going to like you're gonna get in trouble as well. Too. Yeah. And then like there's like there's cameras everywhere, right? So like even if you were to like try and steal like 100, like you're trying to steal something, it's like there's a camera above you that sees everything. There's cameras in both. There's cameras everywhere.
Every ceiling tile has a camera in it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So
like
it's
in
like
Ocean's 11, just get all your best.
But it was crazy. So it's like these people would come in and it'd be like, yeah. So it's like all right, here's like $1,000. Like the most was like because anything over, it was actually really interesting because like you get kind of like an inside look at like the money laundering part of it as well too, because like that's a big thing casinos are known for, right? Is like, okay, so there's like a lot of anti-money laundering stuff. So anything over I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. But like anything over $3,000, you have to get like the casino's gonna track that. So they're going to just like write down, like, I don't think they like write down your name or anything. Anything over $10,000, you have to give your driver's license. And then the casino's going to ask you a couple questions, like what's your job, what's your phone number, anything like that. But like $3,000, they're going to like take note of like that person. So if you like were to come back and like try and like do that transaction again, or I don't know how long they track it for. I think it's like, there's like a certain, like maybe a couple days, like 2 to 3 days or something like that. It's like they've had you kind of like a loose description of like who you are kind of thing.
Is it taxed?
Do you know? gambling winnings?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
No. So like if you were to like win, I don't think so. So like let's say you like win $100 or like win $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't think that's taxed. I don't know. I don't know. I also don't know. I don't think so though. Like, so I don't know. It was super interesting. So yeah. And then anything over $5,000. So like anything over, anything over $5,000, like the AGLC person would come in and they would do that transaction. They'd you take all your cash, you kind of like count it out, but then she would come in and then like run it through like the cash counting machine, which was like kind of cool. So it was like, and then she would like just do that transaction. It was pretty cool. So apparently that happens. So like that volunteer thing, not for every organization. So I think each organization gets 2 days. Like it's kind of like you apply to do a casino night. And so for the quarter, and then for every 2 days, it's a different organization in Alberta that will be in doing that. And then so over the quarter, all of those, so there's like what happens is, this is what I think happens. How it was explained to me at least was all the cash made, right? So the casino will take a cut of some kind, and then what's ever left over, that like top end will be split in between all the charities, all the organizations that were a part of that, kind of like equally and then that happens like each quarter. But it's like every day there's a different organization like making money, like in a casino.
Lots of money to be made.
Yeah.
How big was the stack when they gave you the $100,000? Was it like a briefcase that they push over and like they flick?
No,
it
it was
open?
like a drawer. Yeah.
Like a drawer.
Yeah.
Like little stacks in each.
Yeah,
row.
so it's like, it's like the inside of a cash register pretty much, and it's just like filled with like, a lot more 100s than really anything else. So you got like mostly 100s and then some 50 and then like for change. But yeah, it was like 100. It was like $100,000.
So it was a big stack.
Yeah. It's like bigger and smaller than you'd think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like it's like, so like when I say it's like like a room full of cash, it's like also it's like most of it's just like in this bag, and that's it. It's like okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like a lot, but it's also like okay, I thought this was gonna be like to the ceiling kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not like that. But it's cool. Yeah, for a good cause, Calgary Canoe Club. Go them.
Go
shout
Calgary.
out. Yeah, go Calgary.
Yeah.
That was my fun story about the casino. I guess it kind of like ties us back to gambling. So, you like to sports bet? Do you guys? You don't like to bet? You're not really a gambler.
Not a huge gambler, no.
Yeah.
For the first, I was recently playing pool for money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, started putting some money on games. I think I'm down $50, but
nice.
That's not too bad.
Not a deep hole to climb.
No, exactly.
Yeah, knockwood.
Yeah.
Hopefully that luck change
For all those listeners out there, a piece of advice: if anyone ever asks to challenge you for money in pool, don't take it because they are good at pool.
Yeah.
They're gonna win.
They're gonna win.
Yeah. That's like that's like the original hustle, isn't it? Like pool.
Well, usually
pool
it's
hustles.
you play a shitty game and then you're like, hey, you want to play for money this round? That's when you turn it on.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, we won the first game.
I lost the last 7.
Yeah. And then the guy felt so bad for taking my money, he just gave me a vape. And I was like, I don't even want this. Like I'm trying to not get hooked again. But
nice. Barter system. You could barter it for something else.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Get $30 back.
Yeah. So what do you guys
Going on for the next little bit here?
Yeah. What's your guys's? We're in March. What's your guys's March and what's your guys's quarter look like? I guess the first quarter's coming to an end here. What's Q2? What does Q2 look like ahead?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, with Bryan getting into dentistry school,
you got to recruit.
We got to recruit, and we gotta get to a point where it can be a one-man operation for a little bit at least. So like for right now, there's a lot of focus going into branding. We're doing some outreach, so we're outreaching to real estate agents. If you're a real estate agent in the Calgary area, let us know. Because we want to facilitate, pool table moving, pool table sales, things like that. So we're doing a lot of that research. We find the summer months slower. Typically, people just want to be outside. There's not a lot of movement happening, and in business in general, right? There's not a lot of movement happening, and there's not a lot of people making moves. I'm sure September comes around, and then it skyrockets again with college students and stuff. But, So as for the future, it's really just kind of like figuring out how to legitimize and kind of having an exit strategy where we both can walk away winners. Really,
Yeah, when we first started, it was a for sure 2-man job. You need to have, 4 hands on a slate when you're moving it. And as we kind of got stronger, like the smaller slates now we can kind of pick up on our own, which is kind of exciting, but it's still a mandatory 2-guy job to get it done and safely, especially when you're.
Would it ever be possible to do one man, or
you can be in a dire circumstance, but not on like a regular basis. Hey,
exactly. Yeah, I could do a lighter table on my own, but you put in liability too when you're carrying these things by yourself, and you've got someone's like $7,000 hardwood floor. That's a lot of
going downstairs too. Like your balance would be just so thrown. So you got to be careful. Yeah. I think that there is a way to potentially make a tool or come up with a dolly system where you could do
inventors.
It on your own.
That would be nice.
However,
contact Mason.
Yeah. If you're an inventor in the Calgary area, contact me. No, I think that there is a way to kind of, come up with a way to do it on your own.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, and it is definitely a 2-man job for sure.
What were you guys looking at real estate agents for?
So we find a lot of the tables that we pick up are, people that are moving. So it's people that are home buyers that, buy a house and it has a pool table and they don't want it, but no one moves them. So, they can't really get rid of it. Or home sellers that are selling the house with the pool table and, again, they don't want it.
Yeah.
So you end up kind of with, these 2 people and with this immovable object that nobody really wants. And so they, throw it on Marketplace and then they sell it for $200 and then someone comes and picks it up. So what we want to do is we want to kind of contact real estate agents and say, hey, if you ever have any disputes over pool tables or you're, coming across them frequently, like we can be a simple solution for you. We'll come in, we'll take it, we'll give the seller some money, we'll make the buyer happy. Like we'll settle those disputes for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, so Bryan, you have to, so where else did you, so you are leaning to Los Angeles, City of Angels.
Yeah.
Where else are you kind of waiting to hear back from?
Cleveland.
You have a bit of a sit and wait kind of scenario.
Exactly. Yeah. I just had my interview with the University of Alberta on Saturday.
Cool.
So still waiting to hear back from them. And so the other front line or runners are Detroit and Cleveland as well. So we'll see. I mean, Cleveland's got that big, chemical cloud,
which is super scary.
Yeah. I mean, Cleveland's probably fine, right? But who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Drinking bottled water for the next 4 years there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. There you go. I got family in that area, so it'd be a nice kind of alternative. I could live a little bit cheaper. But then again, you go to LA and you'll never see snow kind of thing. So
yeah.
It's a tough sell to go anywhere else.
Gotta watch out for the once in a century, what is it? The San Andreas Fault Line. There was a movie with The Rock where all of California falls into the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I actually got The Rock on speed dial, so I'll be all
perfect.
right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case,
yeah,
covering all my bases.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Actually, is Veneers guy.
I got lined up in the next 5 years.
Yeah, if anyone's looking for veneers, can contact Bryan. Won't get them for a while, but
yeah. So to get the ball rolling for it, I still have to draft up even my acceptance letter. They've all what's happened so far is they've said you're accepted. I haven't even responded to it yet. So
what does an acceptance letter entail?
it's like, okay, you're going to have to go through a criminal record check. You're going to have to make sure that your health is good and you got all your immunizations. And then you're going to have to go through, you know, payments. There's deposits to be made. And then you have to get a visa to go down south, right?
Yeah.
So
You don't just reply with like dope.
yeah, dope. See you then.
Dear college, thanks. Send.
Only if you get into Harvard kind of thing. But no, so it's exciting. But good news is what month is it? March. I've got till August to figure it out. If this was, because they can accept you all the way till August.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a big time frame to figure it out. So yeah, and when it comes to the summer, looking forward to getting back out in Calgary and going for floats. And it's been a long winter, so
It's been a really long winter.
yeah.
It'll be nice to
been a
reset
slog.
for a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess I don't know if you guys want to talk about this at all, but have you talked about going away for school with your significant other?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Okay, I only found out on the 7th, so give me
Okay,
cut me some slack here. Yeah.
Which way you leaning? Yeah, you don't have to answer that.
It's honestly, everything's just sinking in right now. So, and you do have to have a conversation about it, right? And so, no, it's good, and that's in the books.
Yeah. Mason is your significant other. Does she like moving pool tables?
She does. So
nice.
no, she doesn't. No, she's a nurse and she's tiny, so I don't know that she would be great at moving pool tables, but she is very good at fixing people's
Problems
with their health. Yeah.
Oh, with their health.
Did she get Did she get set up at a hospital or something?
Yeah, she did. She just got a job at Rocky View Maternity.
Let's go.
Yeah,
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, so she's super stoked on that. And then when she was in Vancouver, she was actually doing COVID testing for for movie sets.
Oh.
So she actually also just got the same company called her and was like, "Hey, we're setting up shop in Calgary. Do you want to take the lead on that?" So now she's going to be doing that too.
What, do you know what they're filming?
I have no idea.
Oh,
and
nice. She's going to be RN.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even know if I would be allowed to if I did know it.
I bet it's Fargo.
Okay. It's probably.
I'm gonna take a guess and say it's Fargo. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbeaner. There's lots of rock climbing here. They could do that. Yeah. So, okay, going into more metaphysical, philosophical here. What's your guys' outlook on life? Are you bullish? Bullish life long term? Bullish society? Or
Depends
bearish
on how
society?
Russia deals with Ukraine.
Yeah. That is so out of my mind.
Oh man, I'm terrified of that. Being a 6 foot, 200-pound guy,
you're drafted right away.
I'd be make a good bullet sponge.
Well, Joey May is, our buddy Joey's in the military right now. They're saying they haven't said anything official, but they're like,
they need a goalie.
Just be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Did you see like that? Because I guess there's a group of analysts, right? And they determine kind of the threat level around the globe. And the group of analysts, they declared that we were 90 seconds to midnight. I guess like threat level midnight, like it's a thing. Like midnight is like destruction, like shit's over.
Yeah.
And we were the closest we've ever been 90 seconds. And it's
nice.
Yeah.
Well, not
it would
nice.
be it would be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could go to war. I'd be trying to throw as many wrenches in the plan as I could. I'd be like, I got flat feet, man. I can't make it out there.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm not going.
My back from
war.
the pool tables.
Yeah.
I'd
What do you mean? You're the tank.
You know what? If it was for my country, I would do the Hector Salamanca.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Have a bell. Just meet up with Putin.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we could send you. It's like a Valkyrie operation.
Yeah, Trojan horse.
Yeah. It's like the interview. Yeah. We
know
go
what
in.
the
We go
more
and get.
harmful than a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Words.
Yeah. So medium.
medium, lukewarm. We're not. Like, what's your take? Is it going to get sorted out or is it not going to get sorted out?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Try not to overthink it.
Yeah,
you know?
I sure hope it gets sorted out, but I don't. There's no easy solution.
Yeah, it's out of my
honest.
control, so why
Yeah.
stress about it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right?
fair enough. I feel like that's a healthy take.
Yeah. I've been focusing on the alien mothership that
The
they
lizard
reported
people.
today.
Yeah.
Did you see that
No.
on Instagram on this big like news page? They were like,
Turns out
they're talking about
is a
how
lizard.
all those like UFOs that stuff the U.S. government have been shooting down. They're like, yeah, it might be coming from some mothership, and they're probes. And I'm like, okay, it's only a little scary.
Where can I get me one of these probes?
I think they sell them at medical supply stores.
Yeah, adult sources.
Yeah,
adult
like-
source. Yeah.
Look at this. Pentagon report suggests alien mothership sending UFOs to Earth.
The Pentagon.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. What's the easiest explanation of this?
Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah. You guys ever watch the show Veep?
No.
Hilarious.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like a take that like everyone had, like everything in like positions like that. It's just chaos and like no one really knows what's going on. And
Sounds pretty accurate.
that's kind of my
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm very much the same way. I'm just like, you know what? The news is interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to live with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do.
Aliens
guys-
come down. I'll be like, hey guys, how's it going?
Did you hear about the whole, like, that conspiracy that the alien thing was, like, a cover-up for the Cleveland?
Oh, I'm sure.
I
Like,
did
man,
not-
truth is always stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever. Yeah. What that's like a well-known tactic is it's like convolute and distract. So it's like if you look at like something that's like really fucked up, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, all right, don't look over there. Look, balloons, aliens.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweep it under the rug.
what was that over there? I don't know, nothing. But look, oh yeah, there's a mothership, and they're coming for you.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's more entertaining. Okay, yeah. What was? Oh, I forget. What were we even talking about over there? I don't even. Yeah. How long have we been going here?
12:53 got.
Yeah, I guess
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. I guess. Anything that you guys, maybe we'll kind of wrap it up there. It's been going for long. It's been a bit of a marathon. Appreciate you guys coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you
Yeah,
guys
thanks for
very
having
much.
us.
This was
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah, anything you want to plug? Anyone you want to say hi to before we wrap it up here?
Company name.
Just
Yeah, where can we find you guys?
yeah, we're on Google, so you can just look up 822 Entertainment. You'll find our Google reviews page, building the website right now.
Oh yeah,
And then as for socials, we don't have any yet, but
nice.
keep you posted.
To be
Nice.
announced.
You can be. I can attest. These guys are pretty social. Like they're easy to talk to, pretty sociable. So,
Good guys.
yeah, that in terms of socials, you can talk to them pretty easy. Maybe call them.
Yeah,
Mason's good at calls now.
Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. So
Yeah.
just give me a call.
You're looking for someone to chat to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a pool table move, you just want to talk about your day,
Yeah.
My number's on my card.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, let's end it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay. All right.
Dapper-doo, two white guys in a wheelchair.